Chapter 451. Baya didn't refuse. She closed her eyes and kissed him back. Suddenly she thought of something. Little White, we left Little White on the boat for a day. We forgot to feed him at noon. Gu Lingqing looked at her and smiled helplessly. Okay, you cook. I'll bring Little White over. But don't let him go to the woodshed. He will scare the rabbit. We still have to raise the rabbit before we eat it. Baya made an okay gesture. Don't forget to bring the dog food. She went to cook dinner and boil water. Gu Lingqing went to the bed and took the dog back. In 10 minutes she prepared dinner and water. Then she helped Gu Lingqing pluck the feathers of the chicken. Little White was around them. He kissed the chicken and wanted to bite it. Little White, you are not allowed to bite it, Baya said. The dog looked at Baya and walked away dejectedly. After a while, when Baya wasn't paying attention, it sneaked back and bit the chicken feathers. Its eyes were still peeking at Baya. When it saw Baya looking at it, it ran away dejectedly. Baya smiled. We'll keep one chicken and put the rest in the fridge on the boat, Gu Lingqing said. Baya nodded. That's good. I can try to make different kinds of dishes with the chicken. I won't get tired of it these days. Gu Lingqing looked at her. Her eyes were full of tenderness. When they finished cooking the chicken, the sky was dark. The dog was tired and full. It lay on the ground and took a nap. When Gu Lingqing went to the boat to put the chicken, he picked up the dog and put it back in the kennel on the boat. In the evening, Baya made a bowl of mixed bracken in addition to the leftovers from the day. Did anything interesting happen when you were hunting today? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head, thought for a moment and said, the most interesting thing is to find prey, the moment you catch it, and the surprise when you see them. Can you teach me all these skills? I want to go with you in the future. I'm a bit bored at home, Baya said softly. Hunting is hard work. Gu Lingqing didn't want her to suffer. It's fine as long as I don't think it's tiring. If I think it's tiring, I won't go anymore. How about this? Tomorrow you take me hunting. We won't be able to catch anything. Anyway, we already have food, so it's fine even if we can't catch anything. Right? Baya suggested. Yes, I can do anything you say, Gu Lingqing said helplessly. Then you agree? I only need a knife. Baya was elated. Gu Lingqing laughed. I'll give you a gun to protect yourself, but you have to follow me closely. I'm already following you closely to hunt. I won't agree to not follow you closely, Baya said jokingly. Gu Lingqing was amused by Baya. Got it? We'll leave tomorrow morning. Is that okay? Then I'll make some dry food at night. There's flour, butter, and an oven on the boat. Baya pointed at the door behind her. Okay, let's go together after we shower. Huh. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. She understood. She didn't think too much about it. However, she was willing to do it. Even thinking about it made her feel exceptionally sweet. The pot was quite big, but with 2 adults in it, it felt small. Baya was a little worried. Are you sure you won't step on it? He bit her lips and supported himself with his hand on the side. The muscles on his arm were tense and he said hoarsely, No. I think it's weird. Because in the pot, she remembered the word food. He hugged her waist and lifted her up. What's weird about it? You've watched too many Japanese movies? Baya. She had watched Asian movies before. The girls in those movies often said that it was weird. She felt awkward. When she said that it was weird, it really was weird. That's not what I meant, Baya explained. Then what do you mean? He exerted more force. She moaned and said coquettishly, Be gentler. He lowered his head and kissed her lips to her neck to her collarbone and then downwards. The shower lasted for 45 minutes. When she came out, she was limp and had no energy left. Gu Lingqing carried her to the blanket and the 2 of them stayed in bed for a long time. They had wanted to make cookies at night, but in the end they didn't and went to sleep. She slept well that night. The next day she woke up at 6:30 feeling refreshed. She turned her head to look at Gu Lingqing. He was still sleeping. She turned around and faced him. Her heart was surging with sweetness as she smiled. Gu Lingqing's eyes were still closed. Suddenly, he smiled and hugged her in his arms, turning over. What are you smiling about? I feel very happy, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing's eyes were moved. We will always be happy in the future. Baya smiled and raised her brows. She believed that when they left country A, they would be able to live a normal life like ordinary people. I have to make some rations this morning. Didn't we say that we would go hunting in the morning? I think we should get up, Baya said. Although she didn't want to get up, it felt good to stay by his side. It was safe, stable, and warm. All right, I'll go pick up some firewood. You stay on the boat. Before I come back, you're not allowed to come down, understand? Gu Lingqing instructed. I understand. I will be responsible for my life for you. Similarly, I hope that you will be responsible for your own life for me. Gu Lingqing tapped her forehead. After brushing her teeth and washing up, he sent her to the boat. Baya also brought the pheasant that she hung up yesterday to the boat. She first used the rice cooker to cook porridge. She stuffed the pheasant's stomach with garlic, ginger, and a bag of medicine that she specially made. It contained fennel, tangerine peel, pepper, cloves, and licorice. She poured the MSG, salt, sesame oil, soy sauce, sugar, and corn flour into the cooking wine. After mixing it, she spread it evenly on the pheasant's body and stomach. Then she put it into the oven. Soon the kitchen was filled with a delicious smell. The dog barked a few times at the head of the bed. Baya went to feed the dog food and water. She patted the dog's head. I'm going out for a day. I'll be back in the evening. Thank you, Xiaobai, for cooking. The dog barked. Baya poured enough dog food into the dog's bowl. She came back, washed her hands, and made cookies. Smells so good. What did you make? Gu Lingqing's voice sounded. Baya turned around and looked at him. Roast chicken. It's delicious even when it's cold. There's about 2 minutes left. When it's done, bake the cookies. The porridge is almost ready. There's fermented bean curd. I'll cook 2 eggs and it'll be ready. I feel like you've done a lot of things. Gu Lingqing sighed. Chapter 452. The forest was more magical than she had imagined, but it was also more dangerous than she had imagined. The danger did not lie in the large animals, but in the small animals and insects. It was not easy to see them with the naked eye, such as spiders and snakes. If she was not careful, these things could kill her. So, she always had a wooden stick in her hand to clear the path in front of her. The forest was hotter and humid than the outside, and the ground was slippery. Baya tried her best to follow Gu Lingqing, not wanting to be his burden. But she could feel that he was still slowing down to wait for her, and he was more careful than usual. It's a pity that there are no bamboo shoots in this season, or it would be delicious. Baya sighed. There are no bamboo shoots now, but there are matsutake mushrooms. Gu Lingqing explained. Baya stopped and looked up. Above her head were dense leaves. This geographical environment was indeed suitable for the growth of fungi. She patted Gu Lingqing. Doesn't that look like a grapefruit? Gu Lingqing looked up. It looks like it. Wait a minute, be careful of the snakes on the ground and the spiders on top of your head. Gu Lingqing reminded her. He took off his belt and climbed up the tree in no time. That posture was really cool. Baya smiled and watched him pluck the grapefruit. Xiaoya, be careful. He threw the grapefruit down. Baya dodged. Gu Lingqing only plucked 3 grapefruit. He would not be able to carry any more. Baya took out one. It was very heavy. She used a knife to cut open the grapefruit and peeled it a little. It's not bad, it's sweet and sour. She peeled the skin off the grapefruit and only held the meat. It was lighter. Will it spoil easily? Gu Lingqing asked. No, I have honey and rock sugar on the boat. If we can't finish them, we can make honey grapefruit. It's better to drink tea. Baya looked up at the tree full of grapefruit and sighed. Nature is really amazing. I found a lot of chestnut trees yesterday. Do you want to eat chestnuts? Let's go and hunt some chestnuts on our way back. Gu Lingqing said lightly. He had seen a lot. He had stayed in the forest for a long time and witnessed the gifts of nature, as well as the cruelty of nature. Baya had only come to the forest when she followed him. The last time she had only walked with him for a while. She was pleasantly surprised. That's great. Let me tell you, chestnuts can be boiled, stir-fried, and roasted. They're also very nutritious. Yes, I'll pick more when I get back. Gu Lingqing said as he pulled her forward for another half an hour. Suddenly he stopped, chose a spot, and squatted down with Baya. Baya didn't even dare to breathe heavily. He stared at the direction Gu Lingqing was looking at. First, the bushes moved. Not long after, a pair of tusks appeared. A big wild boar made a goo-goo sound and swaggered out. That wild boar was very big. It was estimated to be 200 pounds. It was much bigger than the one they caught before. Compared to this one, the previous one was probably underage. Gu Lingqing picked up the crossbow and aimed at the wild boar. The wild boar looked in Gu Lingqing's direction and discovered Gu Lingqing. It ran towards the bushes on the right at lightning speed. Squat here. Gu Lingqing ordered. He jumped out of the bushes and chased after the wild boar. He didn't dare to chase too far. He was afraid that Baya would be in danger and he wouldn't be able to save her in time. Baya didn't want to be a burden. She would hide when he asked her to. But she seemed to have heard a strange sound. She turned around and saw the wild boar that was estimated to be 200 pounds staring at her. Baya was so scared that her legs turned to jelly. She sat on the ground and remembered that she had a gun in her bag. She went to take the gun. But it was too late. The wild boar rushed towards her. She instinctively threw the bag at it and shouted, "Gu Lingqing." When Gu Lingqing heard Baya's voice, his heart skipped a beat. He immediately turned back. The wild boar didn't stare at her. It ran to the bag and used its nose to sniff at the chicken meat. Took a big bite out of it. Baya guessed that she would be the wild boar after it ate the chicken. She quickly stood up, climbed up the tree and stared at the wild boar. Gu Lingqing arrived. He fired the crossbow at lightning speed. The arrow was shot out and went through the wild boar's head. The wild boar swayed a few times and fell to the ground. He didn't have time to check on the wild boar. He looked at Baya. "Are you okay?" Baya was still in shock. She shook her head. "I'm fine." She came down from the tree. Before she landed, Gu Lingqing carried her down and apologized. "I'm sorry. I was careless. This forest is their territory. They are more familiar with the road than me. I'm useless. It has nothing to do with you. Besides, I think that the wild boar smelled the chicken on me. So I threw the bag and it chased after the bag. You can carry the food in the future. I will improve my survival skills. I won't let you worry." Baya promised. She said. Gu Lingqing saw that she was really fine. He was relieved. He had to be more careful when he brought her out in the future. He would rather not have food than let anything happen to her. Baya looked at the wild boar on the ground. "Our chicken is gone. That pig looks huge. How are we going to bring it back?" Gu Lingqing looked at the time on his phone. It was 12:10 p.m. With it, our trip was not in vain. We can probably eat for a few months. Let's go back now. Eat some biscuits and drag it back. It's too heavy. Baya suggested. Actually, we can deal with it here. We won't eat the internal organs, but other animals will eat it. Gu Lingqing said and walked towards the wild boar. Baya turned around and did not look at Gu Lingqing. She ate the biscuits. This was the law of survival in nature. The strong preyed on the weak. No one was a fairy who could survive by drinking dew. After 15 minutes, Gu Lingqing walked towards her. "Let's go. The smell of blood will attract nearby carnivores." Then, her mind flashed. Wouldn't they be able to catch all of them at once? Gu Lingqing saw her doubts. "Do you eat wolf meat?" Baya shook her head. "Do you eat lions and tigers?" Gu Lingqing asked again. Baya shook her head again. "Those are protected animals. Stay. When they want to eat us, we can only kill them. To avoid unnecessary harm, let's go." Gu Lingqing said and held her hand. Baya looked at the sack. It was bulging and blood-stained. "Have you dealt with it?" "Yes, almost. Let's go back first. After we go back, I'll go pick the chestnuts and you'll be responsible for the meat. Is that okay?" Gu Lingqing asked. "Sure, I'll help you carry it. You need too much strength to carry it like this. The blood will also rub on your body." Baya suggested. "It's okay. Just walk properly. This weight is nothing to me." He felt sorry for her and did not want her to be tired. Chapter 453. It was easy to get lost in the forest because there were no landmarks. People with a bad sense of direction wouldn't be able to tell north from south. Fortunately, Gu Lingqing was a very sensitive person. He would make some marks on the trees. She asked him what those marks meant. He explained to her in detail that the marks had 20% meaning: direction and angle. Simply put, it meant what direction you were standing in and what time you were looking at the watch. The specifics would be told to the team members during the mission. The rules of each mission were different. Even if the enemy found the marks on the trees, they wouldn't know where they were. Only their own people would know. For example, he made the marks facing south this time. There would be a slight deviation when he looked at the watch at a 45-degree angle, but it didn't affect him much. They set off at 9:30 in the morning. Because they had to look for prey on the way, they arrived much slower than when they went back. It was only 2:30 in the afternoon when they reached the beach. Gu Lingqing threw away the wild boar's head and innards. Baya weighed the remaining wild boar meat on the scale. There were still 130 caddies left. He went to the beach to wash the wild boar. She cooked first. She could make shredded meat and egg fried rice later. Gu Lingqing didn't eat anything on the way. Even if there were biscuits, she was the one who forced him to eat them. After a while, Gu Lingqing came back with the wild boar meat and asked Baya, "What are you going to do with this meat? I don't think we can eat so much at once. I think we can go hunting for a long time." It won't be a problem for us to get through the winter. Baya smiled. Gu Lingqing also raised the corner of his mouth. If you like, you can stay on this island for a while. I think it's better. Okay. Baya agreed. She liked this unfettered, unburdened, relaxed and leisurely life. She could cultivate for a few months without any worries. She pointed at the pork ribs section. We'll eat chestnut pork ribs tonight and I'll make braised pork trotters. We'll marinate the streaky pork later and we'll make bacon out of the pork ribs. You keep this lean meat part too. Tomorrow we'll go to the forest to look for edible wild vegetables. I'll make dumplings for you. We can keep them for a week. Just put them in the refrigerator. The rest can be frozen first. We can eat some later. That's right. But you have to divide them into different categories. Some are for stir-frying, some for soup, some for braising and some for braising. It's a pity that you lost the pig's trotters and pig's head. Baya pursed her lips and smiled. Gu Lingqing glanced at her. He didn't know what was so funny. I'll cut it now. You leave the food you need for a week, Gu Lingqing said. Cut a piece of foreleg meat for me first. I'm going to use it for egg-fried rice. Baya divided the meat and Gu Lingqing put it in the fridge on the ship. When he came back he took the dog back. After dinner, Gu Lingqing set off to pick chestnuts. Baya glanced at the time. It was already past 15. The place to pick chestnuts is not far away. It's past 16 o'clock in the forest this season. It gets dark very quickly. Baya was worried. Gu Lingqing rubbed her head. It's not far. I know. I'll be back before 18 o'clock. Don't worry. Baya nodded and walked him to the door. Close the door. Gu Lingqing said. Baya closed the door reluctantly. She thought that it would only take 2 hours. She went back to marinate the meat first and chop the minced meat for the dumplings tomorrow. When she was almost done she found that it was getting dark. She looked at the time. It was 17:50. She turned on the light and went to the second floor to look outside. From afar she saw a figure coming. It should be Gu Lingqing. Baya couldn't help but smile. He was a man of his word. He would do what he promised. She saw him approaching and quickly ran down the stairs. When she heard the first knock on the door, she opened the door and said with a smile, I'm so happy to see you. Gu Lingqing came in with 2 sacks and frowned. It's cold. Why don't you put on more clothes? It's not allowed in the future. You'll catch a cold. I'll stand outside for a while. You'll see. That's not allowed either. Gu Lingqing said. He took the 2 sacks to the kitchen and poured out the chestnuts in one of the sacks. Baya was surprised to see the original chestnuts. She squatted down and picked one up. You mean this hedgehog-like thing is a chestnut? This one grows on the tree. If it accidentally falls and pricks a person's head, he'll definitely die. Gu Lingqing picked up one on the ground and broke it open. There were 3 black chestnuts inside. So it's really chestnuts? You picked so many. Baya sighed. One is a very big chestnut for making soup. The other is a small chestnut that can be cooked and eaten. It's sweeter. I didn't really pick it. I just picked it up after it fell from the tree. I should have followed you. That way I can help you pick it up and it'll be faster. Gu Lingqing pinched her nose. You're under the tree and I'm on the tree. I'll be worried. On the tree, under the tree. Why did she feel that they were like monkeys? She smiled. Then I'll peel some big ones to make soup. Wear gloves. Don't get pricked. Gu Lingqing said. He looked at her thin and tender hands. Forget it. I'll do it. You boil the water and put the chestnuts in cold water. It'll be easier to peel them. Oh, are you hungry now? I ate shredded meat and egg-fried rice at 15 p.m. It's only 18 p.m. now. Of course I'm not hungry. Are you hungry? Gu Lingqing asked. Baya smiled and shook her head. I'm not hungry either. She went to boil the water. After cooking the chestnuts, she watched Gu Lingqing peel the hedgehog-like things. He was very fast. Soon he was done peeling. It looked like a sack. After peeling there was probably a third of it left, but it was still a lot. They didn't have to go out for the next few days. After he was done peeling the big ones, he peeled the small ones. The small ones were a little big. They were half the size of the sugar-fried chestnuts sold in the market. The big ones were also half the size of the sugar-fried chestnuts. So, the small ones were only a quarter of the big ones. It took more time to peel them than the big ones. Baya boiled the chestnuts. When she put them in cold water to cool, she wanted to help Gu Lingqing. You need to use a knife to peel the chestnut. Do you know how to make 4 cuts on it? Gu Lingqing asked worriedly. Of course. Gu Lingqing felt that she could make a cut. Forget it. You can make the pork trotters. I'll do it. I can do it. I'll be careful. If I make a cut again, don't let me do it again. She wanted to help him. You can make the pork trotters now. You're good at that. It takes a long time to cook, right? Gu Lingqing asked. This kind of pot is fine. Don't worry about the firewood. You just need to add firewood from time to time. Aren't we going to make chestnut pork ribs? We have 2 pots. What about lunch? There's still a lot of rice left for lunch. Just put it on top of the pork rib soup and steam it. We can also steam it. Chapter 454. He paused for 5 seconds and said, there doesn't seem to be any vegetarian dishes. It's easy to get inflamed if you eat like this. Don't you have matsutake and chestnuts? Tomorrow morning we'll go to the forest to look for wild vegetables and eat dumplings. Baiya glanced at the matsutake mushrooms that she had washed. Gu Lingqing nodded. Let's roast pork trotters then. He continued to peel the chestnuts. Why did she find him so adorable? She started a fire and boiled the pork trotters in the water to remove the dirt. The fire was very strong and she only needed to add a little from time to time. After covering the pot, he peeled off the black chestnut skin, leaving only the yellow meat. Isn't it roasted pig's trotters? Gu Lingqing's voice sounded. Baiya chuckled. She understood what Gu Lingqing meant. She turned to look at Gu Lingqing and said, all right, Mr. Gu, you're reliable. This is a piece of cake for me. Don't forget that when you knew me, I was holding a scalpel. Gu Lingqing stopped talking, but the speed at which he peeled the hedgehog's shell sped up. He murmured, if I had known, I wouldn't have picked so many. Baiya was once again amused by Gu Lingqing. He lowered his head and peeled the skin while saying, tomorrow you still have to go harvest with me. We need to store more. These are seasonal. After this season there will be no more. Especially in winter there will be less food, right? Gu Lingqing looked at her back and softly replied, If possible he could really spend the winter with her here. Anyway, as long as there was internet they could video call each other. It was a rare opportunity for him to go back for an inspection. But what if she was pregnant? What if she was sick? Gu Lingqing took a deep breath. These things were too far away. He didn't want to think about them for the time being. He just wanted to cherish the present. After he was done, he took Baiya's knife. I'll row you peel. Baiya stopped struggling and listened to him peeling the chestnuts. Seeing that the water was boiling, she scooped out the pig trotters and washed the dirty things with clean water. After scooping out the dirty water in the pot, she put a little oil in the pot, increased the fire and slightly stir-fried the pig trotters. The main thing was not to occupy the pot with the skin. Then she added cooking wine, soy sauce, ginger, sugar and seasoning packets. Let it simmer in the pot for 2 hours. They would definitely be late for dinner today. Fortunately, they were already late for lunch. She scooped out the rice from the other pot, washed the pot and filled it with water. She first boiled the ribs for the same purpose, to remove the dirt. When he was done he came back to peel the chestnuts. Are you tired? You've been busy since morning and haven't rested yet. Gu Lingqing felt sorry for her. I'm not tired. I feel very fulfilled. It's good for me to sleep at night. You know that I often have insomnia in the past. Baiya said with a smile. We won't go hunting tomorrow or dig wild vegetables in the morning. I'll ask someone to send some vegetables here. We can sleep late and have a good rest. We'll go out to hunt chestnuts in the afternoon. Then can I ask your people to bring more things here? Baiya asked. Of course. What do you want to bring? Write it on a piece of paper. I'll ask someone to bring it here tomorrow. Baiya made an okay gesture. Half an hour later, the kitchen was already very fragrant, which made people's appetite increase. It was easy to make the ribs soup. She scooped out the ribs, cleaned them and boiled them in the water again. Then she added ginger, cooking wine, and spices according to personal preference. However, Baiya wanted to eat the fresh ones just like the ones from 2 years ago. So she didn't add spices. When the ribs were soft and tender, she added matsutake mushrooms and cooked them together. When it was out of the pot, she only needed to add a little salt. She didn't even need to add MSG. It's delicious. It's as delicious as 2 years ago. Baiya ate 2 bowls of rib soup and was very satisfied. Seeing that she was happy, Gu Lingqing was also in a good mood and ate 2 more bowls of rice. She looked at the red dots on his palm and held his hand worriedly. What happened? I was in a hurry and got pricked. It's okay. I'll sleep for a while and I'll be fine tomorrow. Gu Lingqing withdrew his hand and said indifferently. Baiya felt guilty. He peeled the ribs so quickly because he wanted to help her. If she had agreed to let him do it, he wouldn't have been in such a hurry. Gu Lingqing, I'll listen to everything you say in the future. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I won't be stubborn anymore. If I really don't want to, I'll express it to you. After we analyze the pros and cons, you'll still make the decision, Baya promised. Gu Lingqing chuckled. I've tried for so many years, but I still couldn't change your stubborn temper. Look at how distressed you are after being pricked by the chestnut. Do you want it? Baya asked. Yes, but I still hope that you can be yourself and be happy. Don't be unhappy. If you're happy, I'll be happy, Gu Lingqing said gently. She understood. It wasn't from the time when he was strong, but from the time when they saved the pregnant woman together. They had known each other for 5 years and experienced many things. Gu Lingqing seemed to be resolute and domineering, but most of the time he still gave in to her. Even if she made a mistake and he was angry, it was because he risked his life for her, not because of the mistake itself. Love was like a waltz. There were advances and retreats so that it could be managed well. If the other party kept giving in, one day they would go to the edge of the cliff. I know you're right. I'm a little full. It's not good for my stomach to sleep like this. Chapter 455. Gu Lingqing hugged her shoulders, looked up at the moonlight and said softly, "Our common home." The next morning she slept until 9 a.m. and woke up naturally. She looked to her side and realized that Gu Lingqing was not there. Baya got up and shouted, "Gu Lingqing." Here. Gu Lingqing walked in. Baya saw that he was there when she called for him. It was a warm feeling and she smiled. I think I slept late. It's okay, it's good. I've already made breakfast. Get up and eat. What do you want to bring over? Write it to me later and I'll get them to bring it over, Gu Lingqing said and passed the clothes to Baya. I'll write it now. I was too tired yesterday and didn't have time, Baya said apologetically. Brush your teeth and eat breakfast first. There's no rush. Okay. Baya obediently brushed her teeth and washed her face. After breakfast, she leaned on the table and wrote. Vegetables that are drained of water. Gu Lingqing sent a message. Common spices: star anise, white button, angelica, cardamom, agarwood, pepper, angelica, cloves, licorice, etc. Gu Lingqing sent another message. Common dried food: shiitake mushrooms, moer, longan, sausages, etc. And rice. The corners of Gu Lingqing's mouth lifted. I asked them to prepare a beach bike. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing and smiled. That's great. I also want salted goose and dried lamb legs. With these ingredients we can stay here for a few months. Gu Lingqing nodded and sent all the things she wanted. Oh yeah, common medicine. Prepare more, especially anti-inflammatory drugs. They can save lives at critical times, Baya reminded. Gu Lingqing smiled. I've said that. Let's go to the forest to dig for wild vegetables. I'll introduce you to some plants. Gu Lingqing stood up. Baya looked at her watch. It's already 10 a.m. Can we make it in an hour? I have to come back and cook. Yeah, just strolling around. Before going out, he first fed the dog food and water. When they went out, Gu Lingqing would patiently tell her the names and functions of many plants. She suddenly remembered something. Don't forget to remind me to make honey pomelo tea today. Got it? Gu Lingqing stopped and looked ahead. This is chrysanthemum, right? Baya asked. When we don't have anything to eat in the wild, we eat this. We choose the tender sprouts and eat them directly, Gu Lingqing explained. Then can we eat it by stir-frying it? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing nodded. It should be edible. Let's pick it first. I'll go back and check online. Good idea. Baya smiled. Soon there would be a plane carrying food ingredients over. They had plenty of food to eat. What they were enjoying now was mainly fun. After she was done, Baya looked at the time. It was almost 11 o'clock. I think we should go back. Should we pick chestnuts or go fishing in the afternoon? Let's go fishing. There are plenty of chestnuts at home. You're right. She walked in front happily. This place was not far from their house, so she recognized it. When they reached home, Gu Lingqing went back to work. She searched on Baidu and found out that there were many ways to cook chrysanthemums. They could really be eaten. She had never tried eating this before. The simplest way was to cook the tender chrysanthemum leaves, cut them into small pieces, add sesame oil, salt, and MSG, stir them into a sauce, and then eat it. Eating it could reduce heat, strengthen the body, clear the liver, and improve eyesight. The effect was quite obvious. She had not finished the pork trotters and pork ribs soup from yesterday. It would be good to heat them up. She cooked for about half an hour and was ready to eat. She went to call Gu Lingqing. Perhaps he had heard her footsteps, but as soon as she walked into the hallway, he came out of the room and smiled at her. Time to eat. Baya smiled and called out to him. His eyes darkened, flowing with a dark color that no one could see clearly. He nodded. While they were eating, Baya noticed that Gu Lingqing kept looking at her. She was puzzled. Is there something on my face? Why do you keep looking at me? Xiaoya, no matter what happens we'll be together, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya nodded. Actually, I wanted to be with you 2 years ago. But I was poisoned at that time. I didn't have much time left, so I had to leave. I'm sorry. These things are in the past. We'll be together in the future. Baya smiled. Got it. We'll be together in the future. Their stay on the island was a little longer than they had expected. After more than 2 months, it was already deep into winter. It did not snow on the island and the temperature was higher than on land. In the morning, Gu Lingqing would work and she would cook. In the afternoon, when he was working, she would knit clothes. Sometimes the two of them would play games, shoot, or go hunting in the forest to pick wild fruits. At night, he would teach her fighting and self-defense skills. The days passed leisurely and contented. She never had insomnia again. Her complexion was better and she had gained a few pounds. One day when she was still cooking, Gu Lingqing came downstairs. She saw his serious face and asked worriedly, "What's wrong?" "Xiaoya, my father is dying. I have to go back. Are you coming with me or waiting for me at home?" Gu Lingqing asked. Baya's heart skipped a beat. She did not want to stay on the island alone and wait for his news. That would make her helpless and unable to do anything. She held his arm. "I'll go with you. No matter what happens, we'll bear it together. I'll always be by your side." Gu Lingqing held her hand and nodded. Okay, the plane will arrive in an hour. There were some words that she could say if he was her patient. But he was her lover, so she could not say it. She could only accompany him, feel his emotions and feel his heartache. "I'll prepare the meal and we'll leave after eating. When we get there we might not even have time to eat. After all, he is your father. You have to accompany him for the rest of the journey. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of others better. You can't not eat," Baya said vaguely. She was worried that he was in a bad mood and could not take care of himself. Gu Lingqing nodded. Okay. He let go of Baya's hand and walked to the yard to light a cigarette. She stood at the door. She knew that he was in a bad mood and did not disturb him. Sometimes it was better to be alone. She quickly cooked. She knew that she would not be back for a few days, so she only made 2 dishes. When the rice was cooking, she folded the quilt and mattress and put them in the cabinet. She also wrapped the unused ingredients and put them in the fridge on the ship. When the meal was ready, she went to look for Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing was still smoking. There were already 3 cigarette butts at his feet. Chapter 456. Gu Lingqing nodded. He put away the remaining half of the cigarette and walked towards the kitchen. Baya served him the rice. He ate without saying a word, but he didn't even look at her. She knew that he was sad and understood his feelings. She didn't say anything and ate quietly. She hadn't even finished eating when she heard the roar of the engine of the plane. Gu Lingqing's body stiffened. Baya held his hand and looked at him gently. No matter how bad his relationship with his father was, he was still his father. It was inevitable that he would be sad. Just like her, Xing Bachuan had treated her so badly. She still felt bitter when he died. Gu Lingqing smiled at Baya. "I'm fine. Let's go." Baya nodded. "I'll clean up the kitchen. I've already prepared my luggage. It's upstairs." "I'll go get the luggage. It's cold outside." "Wear more clothes," Gu Lingqing reminded her. Soon, the plane arrived above them and a rope ladder was lowered. Gu Lingqing let Baya go up first while he protected her from behind. Fortunately, she had trained her stamina for the past 2 months, so it wasn't hard for her to climb up. It was noisy on the plane. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. He held her in his arms. She leaned against him quietly. Neither of them spoke. The plane stopped in a manner. The guards were already waiting. Gu Lingqing followed them into the house. "Young master, old master and madam are waiting for you in the room on the 2nd floor, the servant said, sounding like she was complaining. Gu Lingqing replied and walked to the 2nd floor with heavy steps. Baya followed behind him. He appeared at the door. Song Shiu saw him and gritted his teeth. He walked over and slapped Gu Lingqing's face. The slap was very loud. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing with heartache. He did not utter a single sound. Song Shiu was very emotional. "I told you 2 months ago that your father couldn't make it. You didn't come back and now he's dying. What's the use of coming back now? If you hadn't angered your father, he wouldn't have fallen sick." Gu Lingqing lowered his eyes and said nothing. Does it matter if you don't speak? Is it any use? Song Shiyu pushed Gu Lingqing. He stood straight and said nothing. Song Shiyu continued to accuse him. Other than Baya, what else did your father do to you? Didn't he treat Baya so well? After Baya came back, your father didn't do anything else. He had already acquiesced. But what did you do? You ignored us and didn't come back. You treated us like your enemies. Even when you saw us, you ignored us. What did we do to you? You gave up your job in the military and now you're playing around and disappearing. Why did you do this? Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Tianhang, who was lying on the sickbed. Baya followed Gu Lingqing's gaze and looked over. The man on the sickbed was completely different from the Gu Tianhang in her mind. She remembered that Gu Tianhang was tall, strong, and very dignified at that time. Every move he made was valiant, and no one dared to resist him. He was also decisive and never soft-hearted. Everything he did was to stabilize his position. But now he was very thin. His face was all skin and bones. He was lying on the bed with an oxygen tank inserted. He was barely breathing and waved at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing walked towards Gu Tianhang. Song Shiyu pushed Gu Lingqing away angrily. Gu Tianhang was anxious. He knocked on the side of the bed, making a loud sound. Song Shiyu saw that Gu Tianhang wanted Gu Lingqing to go over, so she didn't stop him. She turned her face away and panted heavily. She was heartbroken, annoyed and full of complaints. Gu Lingqing walked to Gu Tianhang. Gu Tianhang held Gu Lingqing's hand. He opened his mouth and wanted to say something. But his voice was so low that it couldn't be heard at all. Gu Lingqing put her ear in front of Gu Tianhang's mouth. Song Shiyu saw that the father and son had something to say. After all, her husband was dying. She clenched her fists and turned around. She said to the others, "Go out." Baya walked out and watched as Song Shiyu closed the door. She waited at the door and promised Gu Lingqing that no matter what happened, she would face it together. Song Shiyu noticed Baya. She was slightly stunned. She frowned and asked, "Have you been with Lingqing all this time?" Baya nodded. "Yes." Song Shiyu's eyes were filled with hatred. "Did you tell him not to come back?" Baya shook her head. Song Shiyu sneered and said in a self-deprecating manner, "He didn't tell us that he had a girlfriend. I was taking care of Yen well, but because of a mistake last time he took Yen away. He didn't even tell me where he went. He didn't want to stay in the military anymore and wanted to go abroad." "He went abroad to take care of you?" Baya knew that she was angry. She understood that she was full of negative emotions now. Even the slightest thing would make her angry. People were like this. When they were in a bad mood, they shouldn't provoke them. Otherwise, they would make themselves and others unhappy. So she didn't say anything. Song Shiyu saw it. She smiled bitterly. Her expression was uglier than crying. "See, this son of mine is more important to women than his parents. Zhouhailan Baya and you. I'd rather not have him. In the past, at least I had Tianhang, but now..." Song Shiyu thought of her husband. She was about to die. She was full of sadness and her voice was choked. People were really strange. When they first met, they saw the good points of the other party. After knowing each other for a long time, the good points of the other party became the bad points of the other party. But when they were about to die, they thought of the good points of the other party. So they felt sad and reluctant. She remembered that Song Shiyu used to be a very reasonable woman. Although she was influenced by emotions in some matters, she was lucky that she had pleaded for mercy 5 years ago. Otherwise she would have been dead. Later on, when they got to know each other, although Song Shiyu was sharp and unkind, she was a reasonable person. But that slap was too forceful. She felt sorry for Gu Lingqing. She didn't want his relationship with his parents to be so bad. She had been through it. She knew that although Gu Lingqing didn't say it, he was actually sad. He was just used to keeping it in his heart and bearing it alone. So, 2 months ago, when Gu Lingqing knew that his father was seriously ill, he didn't tell her. He was afraid that she would be a burden. She should do something for Gu Lingqing. "Mrs. Gu, I think you have some misunderstanding about Lingqing," Baya said gently. "I don't have any misunderstanding about him. It's been 2 months. If he wanted to come back, he would have come back long ago. He doesn't care about his parents at all," Song Shiyu said impulsively. Chapter 457. He can't come back? Why can't he come back? Isn't he back now? Song Shiyu didn't understand. There are some things that he doesn't want to say because he doesn't want you to worry. What happened to Xiao Yan wasn't a coincidence. It was a trap. Apart from Xiao Yan, Gu Lingqing was also set up. He almost lost his reputation and his life was in danger. He left the military area and country A because he had no choice but to exchange for peace. What he wanted was never fame and fortune, but the happiness and health of his family, Baya said with red eyes. Song Shiyu looked at Baya suspiciously. What do you mean? Who set up my son? Who wanted his life? It's more responsible than you think. Then tell me in simple terms. Song Shiyu raised his voice and stared at Baya. Baya hesitated and lowered his head. It's the worst thing to say half of it and not tell the other half. If you don't tell me, I'll ask him. If you don't tell me clearly today, I'll cut off all ties with him. He doesn't need to show up at his father's funeral. He doesn't deserve to show up. I won't care about your life and death in the future. When I die, I don't need him to burn incense on my grave, Song Shiyu said fiercely. Baya really didn't want Gu Lingqing's parents to have a bad relationship with Gu Lingqing. He sighed and said, Do you know what happened to Xia He? Didn't they say that the mission was fake? Xia He has been acquitted and is now working in the military office of South District in City A. The country has compensated her. What does it have to do with her? Song Shiyu was confused. When Xia He was still a spy, he was captured on the first day he returned to the country. At that time, someone set up a trap for Gu Lingqing to rescue Xia He. Fortunately, Xia He knew the secret of that mission, so he survived. Otherwise, Gu Lingqing and Xia He would have been labeled as spies. But after that, Gu Lingqing offended too many people. For example, the mastermind of that mission, the person who wanted to set Gu Lingqing up, and the person who wanted to use him as a stumbling block. So, Gu Lingqing left country A to stay away from disputes. Only then could he be at peace, Baya explained. Song Shiyu sized up Baya in silence, digesting what Baya had said. She had been busy with her husband's illness recently, so she didn't pay much attention to these things. She didn't pay attention to the details. Who is the mastermind? Who wants to set Gu Lingqing up, and who wants to use him as a stumbling block? Gu Lingqing doesn't want you to know. Firstly, he doesn't want you to worry. Secondly, he doesn't want you to take risks for him. So I can't tell you. I'm sorry. Baya lowered her eyes. Song Shiyu held Baya's shoulder. I can't just lose my husband and my son. So, Gu Lingqing wants you to leave with him. We'll go to France. There's a quiet and peaceful place there. Although it's ordinary, we'll all be very happy, Baya persuaded. Song Shiyu lowered her eyes, her gaze fixed. Does he really think that way and not blame us for forcing Baya to his death? You didn't force Baya to his death. Just like what you said, you all tacitly agreed to it. How can you force him to his death? Gu Lingqing knows that Baya was poisoned by Su Jiran. It has nothing to do with you. If you can forgive us and leave with us from now on, you, Gu Lingqing, and I, Xiao Xian, can live together. Xiaoyan, we can live together, have breakfast together, have dinner together, watch movies together, and take a walk together. Baya smiled. Song Shiyu's tears flowed down. She looked at the door and thought of Gu Tianhong's life. Then she thought of her own life and made up her mind. Okay, after Tianhong's funeral is over, I'll leave with you. Baya was emotional. She held Song Shiyu's hand. Mom, I'll be filial to you. Song Shiyu was a little embarrassed. She wiped her tears. Good girl? Baya looked at the door. Gu Lingqing would be very happy to know that his mother was willing to leave with them. 10 minutes later, Gu Lingqing walked out. He looked at Baya with a deep gaze. His eyes were as deep as the vast universe, but there was a hint of sadness and lies in them. Song Shiyu saw something was wrong. She rushed into the room. Baya heard Song Shiyu's wailing. She felt bitter in her heart. She walked in front of Gu Lingqing and held his hand. You're lucky to have seen him for the last time, right? I know you're sad. If you're sad, you can cry. No one will laugh at you. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya. His breathing was heavy. He touched Baya's head. He looked like he wanted to say something. She hugged Gu Lingqing. She used her actions to tell him that she was there. She was accompanying him and facing the sadness together. Xiaoya, Gu Lingqing called. His voice sounded weak. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. I'm sorry, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He looked at her with pity and apology. Baya had a bad feeling. She shook her head. She didn't know what Gu Lingqing was going to say. But when she heard him say sorry, she felt her heart ache. What did he need to say sorry to her? Didn't his father just die? Gu Lingqing's voice was choked. I can't take you with me. I need to stay. I need to shoulder the responsibility that I should bear. I won't run away. I won't hide. Baya shook her head. The difference in her heart was huge. She had just convinced his mother to go with them. Why? Gu Lingqing smiled bitterly. His eyes were misty, but he didn't stay. I have something that I have to do. Xiaoye, you go first. I won't go. I'll be wherever you are. We said before that we'll be together forever. No matter what happens, we'll never be separated. Have you forgotten about that? Didn't you say that you'll listen to me in the future? I want you to go to Bordeaux. Take care of Xiaoyan. Wait for me to come back. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Didn't you say that I'll do what I want? Gu Lingqing, you're lying. You don't keep your word. You're always like this. Baya cried and complained. I won't go. If we go, we'll go together. If you choose to fight, I'll be with you. If you choose to live a comfortable life, I'll be with you. We promise that even if we die, we'll die together. Gu Lingqing wiped the tears off Baya's face. But she had too many tears. She wiped them off and then left them. She couldn't stand the thought of being separated. They had been separated for too long. 3 years and then 2 years. All of their time was spent on being separated. This time, she didn't want to be separated from him anymore. Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand. She cried and begged, Lingqing, we won't be separated. No matter what happens, even if the sky falls, we won't be separated. Don't chase me away. Even if you chase me away, I'll run back. You know, I'll do a lot of things secretly that you don't want me to do. Chapter 458. Baya cried and her eyes turned red. Gu Lingqing's eyes were red too. He compromised and caressed her head. All right, we won't be separated. The first thing I want to do is to send Shenao and Sheng Dongqing to the military court. Shenao? Shen Yan's father? Baya was shocked. Gu Lingqing nodded. Are you afraid? With you around, I'm not afraid of anything, Baya said with certainty. With you around, I'm not afraid of anything, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Regardless of whether they were afraid or not, they had to be together. The atmosphere in the Gu family's manor was extremely tense. Song Shiyu invited the monk over. They didn't know much about martial arts, so they listened to the monk's arrangements. Baya thought of the master of ancient spells and looked at Gu Lingqing. Do you think the master of ancient spells will come if we invite him? I don't believe in these things, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. There was a strange look in his eyes. Baya held his hand. Did he say something bad to you? I don't believe it. Let's not talk about this. I'm going to keep vigil tonight. You don't have to accompany me. Rest well, my mom still needs you to take care of her. Gu Lingqing changed the topic. I can't sleep alone. I'll accompany you guys. Your mom will definitely keep vigil too. If I don't, how can I take care of her? Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing sighed. You're always so stubborn. I know myself too well. I know that you care about me, but I won't be able to sleep. Since I can't sleep on the bed, I might as well stay with you guys, Baya said softly. All right. The monk came over. Gu Lingqing listened to the monk and carried Gu Tianhang, who had already changed into a new set of clothes, into the crystal coffin and covered his face with a piece of white cloth. Baya was a little sad. 2 years ago, Gu Tianhang was still so strong and healthy. In just 2 short years he was already lying in a coffin. Very soon he would be sent to the crematorium. His flesh and blood would be burned, leaving only ashes and bones. Very soon he would disappear from people's memories and become nothing. No. He had put in so much effort in the past, but in the end, it was all for naught. Life is so fragile. She held Gu Lingqing's hand. Gu Lingqing's hand was colder than hers. She wanted to give all her warmth to him. The morning hall was set up. Zhang Xingyu, Leng Shuai, and the people that Leng Shuai brought over made phone calls to inform everyone that Gu Tianhang had passed away. Gu family, politics, and business. Zhang Xingyu and the other 4 people called until 10 p.m. They had a meal at Gu Lingqing's house and stayed over at Gu Lingqing's house. At night, Gu Lingqing, Song Shiyu, and Baya kept a vigil together. They placed the Simmons cushion on the floor and the 3 of them sat on it, leaning against the sofa. Song Shiyu looked at the coffin, feeling very sad. There was a photo of Gu Tianhang, an oil lamp, and a fruit offering. Paper money was burning in the stove in front of the coffin from time to time, and music such as the Guanyin Bodhisattva's vow hymn, Great Compassion Mantra, Universal Hymn, Repentance, Daming Mantra, and Prajnaparamita Sutra were playing on a loop. He devoted his whole life to politics. In the end he was still burdened by politics. It was his wish to be the president, but he was too hot-tempered and made enemies everywhere. In the end he didn't even have the right to run for president. The election 2 years ago dealt a huge blow to him. In the end he was depressed. Song Shiyu sighed. Everyone has a different outlook on life. Some people love money, some love sex, some love power, and some love all living things. As long as he feels that he is walking the right path in this life, it's fine. After all, he doesn't live for others to see but for his own feelings. Even if he doesn't succeed, he has already done his best. I tried my best, Baya comforted him. Song Shiu chuckled and held Baya's hand. You're really understanding. Now I know why Ling Qing likes you. Baya was touched to see that she had gained Song Shiu's approval. In the past, no matter how hard she tried, she was always rejected by others. Gu Lingqing was pleased to see that the two of them had a good relationship. Xiaoye, you can stay here from now on and accompany me. Okay, Baya replied. What do you mean stay here? Aren't you going to leave? Song Shiu looked at Baya in surprise. Lingqing has decided to stay and face things, Baya explained. Face what? Song Shiu looked at Gu Lingqing anxiously. Gu Lingqing looked at Song Shiu deeply. I still have some things that I have to do. Mom, do you still remember your brother? Song Shiu was stunned. Why did you mention him? Dad told me some things. I heard that he was the most likely candidate to become the president. He was talented and had outstanding achievements. No matter where he was, he would do well. He was also the youngest state governor, right? Gu Lingqing asked. His gaze was calm and distant. Song Shiu lowered her eyes. Her eyes were red. My brother was really talented. He was admitted to the University of Political Science and Law at the age of 13. He graduated with a PhD at the age of 18. He was sent to the poorest town. In the first year he attracted investors. The businessmen built roads. In the third year the poorest town became the richest town. In his fourth year he went to work in the city. The city was mostly mountainous. He developed tourism and cash crops. Within 4 years the city became a world-famous tourist destination. He was promoted from mayor to governor. Over there he was only 26 years old. When he was the governor he developed agriculture, attracted investors again, repaired roads, built an airport and engaged in foreign trade. In 4 years the national output quadrupled. He also used his own assets to open many free schools and scholarships. In the end, when he was 30 years old, when I was 2, I was murdered. Murder? Baya was shocked. The only blemish on his life was that he had a mistress outside. This mistress was someone he met in the poorest village after he graduated from school at the age of 18. I've seen the little girl before. She's 2 years older than him. She's very pretty. She has a pair of big commanding eyes that are full of spirit. Because her family was poor, she didn't go to school since she was young, but she taught herself. She's fluent in English and German. However, my parents didn't agree and forced my brother to marry his friend's daughter. Later, the introduction of foreign investment, development of foreign trade, and the establishment of free schools were all done by the girl. Chapter 459. Baya was a little sad. She thought of Xiao Yan and her own past. The scariest thing in the world was not the beast but the human heart. The Tangqin village massacre case was a case of family extermination. Even the beasts were not willing to hurt humans after they were full, but the devil would never be satisfied. Baya's heart was heavy. She asked, didn't they investigate this matter? 17 people because it's a big case. My family and my sister-in-law's family could not afford to lose face. They just said that my brother fell from the mountain and died when he was doing an inspection. My brother won the posthumous title, so his case was left unsettled. My parents and my sister-in-law's family did not dare to investigate, afraid that it would affect our family's reputation. I didn't expect Tianhang to tell Lingqing about this. Tianhang was very close to my brother. They grew up together and were good brothers. As Song Shiu spoke, she became too sad. She thought of her brother and her husband. She was so sad that she started crying. Baya handed her a tissue. Gu Lingqing's eyes became misty. He lowered his eyes, got up and walked outside. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Mom, I'll go and see him. Song Shiu nodded. Baya stood up and went outside to look for Gu Lingqing. He stood under the big locust tree, smoking. The cigarette butt flickered. He exhaled in disgust, but he still felt uncomfortable. He took another deep puff. Baya walked to his side. Xing Dongqing and Shenao did it, right? Gu Lingqing looked at Baya. His eyes were red too. He took another puff and exhaled in another direction. Baya stood behind Gu Lingqing and hugged him. She leaned her face against his sadness. You were always by my side when I was in despair. Now I will always be by your side. I'm not Gu Tianhang's child, Gu Lingqing said hoarsely. How could that be? You are quite similar to your mother. After Baya said that, a thought flashed through his mind and he instantly understood. He was not the child of Song Shiyu and Gu Tianhang. You're the child of your mother's brother? Gu Lingqing looked at Bai Ya. To be exact, I'm the child of my uncle and the woman who was killed. What my mom didn't know was that my dad was actually there with my uncle, but it was a party at that woman's house and my dad knew better than to go. When he went, he found out that everyone was dead except for me. Since I was only 1 month old and I had a cold, the woman didn't bring me to the party and left me to the nanny to take care of. The year my mother gave birth to the child only weighed about 3 kilograms. After a few days in the greenhouse, she died of heart failure. My father was afraid that my mother would be sad, and I also needed someone to take care of me, so he used the excuse that the child needed to recuperate and took me back a few months later. Baya understood. So, Song Shiyu didn't know that you're not her child. I didn't want her to know for the rest of my life. Now I know why my father always went against Shenao and Xingdongqing, why he devoted himself to politics, and why he spent so much effort on me. In the end, it was also because of me that he died of depression, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. I'm sorry, Baya apologized. Gu Lingqing was like this because of her. It has nothing to do with you and it's not what you think. In the past we were too kind to our enemies and that's why we were so passive again and again. In the future I won't do it anymore. I'll return the company to my mom and I'll go back to the military, Gu Lingqing said to Baya. Alright, but we have to plan everything in advance. Our opponents are very strong. Su Zheng, Shenao, Xingdongqing, and there might be other hidden dangers. Also, Su Changhao is your friend. Baya wanted to say something but she didn't finish her sentence. As long as Su Zheng doesn't attack again, I'll let him go. But if he attacks again, I won't let him go. Baya understood that he still cared about their brotherhood. Gu Lingqing was too loyal. Was it a good thing or a bad thing? Let's go in or your mother will be worried. I'll do my best to help you. Don't forget, my psychology and hypnosis are among the top 10 in the industry. It's just that I haven't used them for a long time, and I'll be fine after I consolidate them. Baya smiled and comforted Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing smiled faintly. He just didn't want her to worry. They went back and the three of them took turns to keep watch. In fact, they only slept for 2 to 3 hours. Early in the morning, the monk came to perform the ritual. He set up a big shed in the manor, and the chefs also came with ingredients and cutlery. Gu Lingqing and Song Shiyu both wore white linen clothes and a white band around their foreheads. They knelt on the right side of the altar. Originally, Baya wanted to kneel, but after all, she and Gu Lingqing hadn't had a banquet, and her stomach was aching, so she didn't kneel. Go back to your room and rest. Don't distract me. I'll ask Zhang Xingyu to call a doctor to check on you later. Gu Lingqing said softly. I'm fine. Maybe my aunt is coming. Every time before she comes, she'll be like this, Baya said softly. Her aunt hadn't come for a few months. It was really not the right time for it to come. I'll pour you a glass of brown sugar water. After you drink it, go and rest. Be good, I'll need a family gift later so I can't come out to see you, Gu Lingqing said. Baya didn't want Gu Lingqing to worry, so she nodded. As soon as she entered the room, she heard the monk shouting, guests. She subconsciously walked to the corridor and looked down. The first to arrive was Su Zheng. He came with his wife and children to offer incense. Baya saw the sad expression on Su Zheng's face. Why didn't he think of the deep friendship between him and Gu Tianhang when he was scheming against Gu Lingqing? She suddenly felt disgusted, so she turned around and went back to her room. My condolences, Su Changhao said to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing nodded and didn't say anything. Those who had paid their respects were brought to the shed by the novice monk to rest. After 8 o'clock, people came one after another. Baya was drowsy and fell asleep. After some time, she felt someone opening the door and opened her eyes. Zhang Xingyu came with a Chinese doctor. Miss Wu, Mr. Gu is worried about you. Please cooperate with him, Zhang Xingyu said with a smile. Baya smiled and nodded. All right. The old Chinese doctor sat in front of Baya and looked at Baya's eyes. Stick out your tongue. Baya stuck out her tongue. The old Chinese doctor looked at her with a solemn expression. My period is irregular and I haven't come for a few months. Every time I come it hurts a lot, Baya explained. The old Chinese doctor felt Baya's pulse and frowned. What's wrong? Baya asked. Chapter 460. You're having a baby? Zhang Xingyu was happy for them. Baya was very calm. Shen Yin had said that she was pregnant and her vitals were not normal. I'll go to the hospital after I'm well rested. Take a blood test first. I'll prepare some Chinese medicine and you'll be able to drink it in the afternoon, the Chinese doctor said. He opened the medicine box and took out something that looked like a pen. Finger. Baiya knew that these people were being responsible for her. She did not struggle and passed her left index finger to the Chinese doctor. The Chinese doctor took the pen and pressed it on Baiya's finger. It did not hurt. He saw that her blood level was normal and passed it to Zhang Xingyu. Go to the hospital for a test. Okay. Zhang Xingyu went immediately. The Chinese doctor left the room without saying a word. Her words silenced the room. She was in a daze and was about to fall asleep again. She saw Gu Lingqing coming in from the door worriedly and placed his hand on her stomach. The doctor said you're pregnant? Baiya shook her head. I don't think so. It was the same for me the last time. I went to the hospital for a checkup but the hormones in my body are a little messed up. Maybe it's because I took too much medicine. I didn't vomit or feel nauseous. Don't forget I thought I was an obstetrician. You have to be careful when your stomach hurts. I'll go down to entertain the guests later. I'll get someone to bring the food up. Don't go down to eat and rest well, okay? Gu Lingqing reminded her. Baiya nodded. Not long after Leng Shuang's lunch was delivered. Baiya did not have much of an appetite. She ate a little and her stomach hurt badly. She lay back on the bed and closed her eyes thinking about how to deal with Xing Dongqing and Shenao. The door was pushed open again. 2 soldiers brought the ultrasound machine in. Baiya was confused. What are you doing? Miss Wu, the results are out. You're pregnant and it's estimated to be 1.5 months. For safety, Mr. Gu asked me to borrow the machine to do the ultrasound, Zhang Xingyu said. Baiya, thinking about it, it made sense. It was always better to be more cautious. Let me drink more water, said Baiya. Zhang Xingyu immediately poured a glass of warm water for Baiya. She gulped down a glass of water. Wait for 15 minutes. You can leave now. Oh. Zhang Xingyu came to his senses and led the soldiers out of the room. Only one doctor remained. Baiya looked at the gynecologist in the white coat and smiled. She recalled her life as a gynecologist 5 years ago. She missed Lu Shuang. 15 minutes later, the gynecologist performed an ultrasound on Baiya. Baiya looked at the screen and was slightly stunned. She understood that there was a 1 centimeter long embryo. Other than the embryo, there was also a 3 centimeter long blister. No wonder she had a stomach ache and thought that her period was coming. She was actually really pregnant. Congratulations, you are pregnant. Don't worry about this blister, it will slowly disappear, the doctor said to Baiya. She placed her hand on her stomach. She was actually really pregnant again. She was pregnant with Gu Lingqing's child again. Baiya grinned. She was afraid that she had seen wrongly, so she stared at the screen for a while and smiled. This was the best gift in her difficult situation. The warmest existence made her feel the loneliness of death and see the joy of life again. However, you have to rest more. You can't work too hard. It's best to stay in bed. You'll be fine after 3 months, the gynecologist said with a smile. Thank you. This is my job. The gynecologist smiled and left. The old Chinese doctor came in with a bowl of medicine and glanced at the screen. The gynecologist took a picture. The embryo and the blister could be seen. He handed the medicine to Baiya and said confidently, "Drink it. Drink it for 3 days and the blister will disappear." Thank you. Baiya took the bowl. She smelled it and roughly knew what it was. She gulped down the medicine and frowned. It was bitter, but for the child, this bit of bitterness was nothing. The door was pushed open again. Gu Lingqing came in excitedly with a smile on his face. This was the brightest smile he had seen in the past few days. He placed his palm on her stomach. We are really pregnant. Baiya smiled as well. She held Gu Lingqing's arm and nodded with certainty. We are really pregnant. Is it a boy or a girl? Gu Lingqing blurted out. I can't tell yet. Oh, right, we just got it. Gu Lingqing's gaze was on the screen. He stood up and brushed his finger over it. Is this it? That's not it. That's a blister. The one at the bottom, the one that looks like a little seahorse, is it? Baiya reminded. Gu Lingqing's gaze moved down and he saw it at the bottom. His lips curled up slightly. He brushed his finger over the picture and looked at Baiya. Baiya smiled. He walked to Baiya, lowered his head and kissed Baiya's forehead. He praised, "You are amazing." She raised her head and kissed Gu Lingqing on the lips. She said gratefully, "You are amazing too. But I was a little careless. If I knew you were pregnant, I wouldn't have let you stay up late yesterday. In the end, your stomach is hurting now." Although Gu Lingqing was criticizing him, he blamed himself more. I used to vomit or feel nauseous. Maybe I was too happy on the island, or maybe my body is better now so I didn't notice. I'm sorry, Baya said apologetically. Gu Lingqing rubbed her head. It's not too late to take care of yourself. You should rest first. I'll accompany you when I'm done. Oh yeah, you want a family gift now, right? Hurry up and go. Your mother needs you too. I'll just lie on the bed and won't go anywhere, Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing kissed Baya's forehead again, turned off the machine and went out. Just as Baya lay down, Song Shiu came in. Mom? Baya wanted to get up. Hurry up and lie down, Song Shiu said worriedly. Her gaze was on her stomach. Her eyes were filled with tears and she smiled. If only you came back a few days earlier. You could let Tianhang know the good news before you left. Dad's spirit in heaven will see it. He will bless us, Baya comforted Song Shiu. Song Shiu wiped her tears. You really know how to talk. Have you given it a name? Baya shook her head. It came so suddenly. I didn't know about it before, so I'm not ready yet. Song Shiu went forward and held Baya's hand. You married into my family, but I didn't even give you a gift. She took out the emerald diamond ring on her finger and put it on Baya's ring finger. This is a small token of my appreciation. You must take it. This is your and Dad's diamond ring. I can't accept it. Baya wanted to take the ring off. Chapter 461. Okay. Baya did not refuse. In the future, when Gu Lingqing solved his problem, she would have to take care of 3 children and would not have the energy and time. It would be best if Song Shiu could take care of them. Gu Lingqing was such a good person. Who said that Song Shiu did not play a part in it? Song Shiu came to see Baya and went out. After all, there were still many guests waiting for her outside. It was very thoughtful of her to come to see her at this time and give her the ring. In the past, too many things had happened between them. There were too many things that they had to do. Otherwise, they would have a good mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. It was already 10 p.m. when Gu Lingqing and Song Shiu sent all the guests away. They still had to keep watch tonight. Gu Lingqing came to see her a few times. She knew that what she should do now was to take care of her body and not let others worry, so she did not accompany him. It was an unusual day. She was in a daze at night, sleeping and waking up. Sometimes when she opened her eyes, she would see Gu Lingqing there. Every time he would look at her gently. Sleep well, I'm here. She knew that he would always be there, but her heart ached for him. She would not be able to sleep well again tonight. The next day they sent Gu Tianhang to the crematorium in the morning. Many guests went to see him off. After the cremation, they sent him to the cemetery of martyrs. They treated the guests to lunch at noon. When they were done, it was already 3 p.m. Gu Lingqing went to the room to see Baya. He had not slept for the past 3 days. She held his hand. Mom is fine. Is she okay? Gu Lingqing nodded. You should sleep too. You feel very tired. Gu Lingqing lifted the blanket and lay down beside Baya. He placed his hand on her stomach and recalled, I was very rebellious when I was young. I left my parents to study abroad because I did not want them to care too much about me. After I graduated from university, my father wanted me to work in the Ministry of Politics and Law. I was unwilling and insisted on joining the army. He asked me to run for president, but I was unwilling. I contacted Shiniyin privately and pushed the son of my enemy to be the president. My father was so angry that he fell ill. I blamed him for being heartless, but in the end I was the one in the wrong. The ignorant are not guilty. Don't blame yourself too much. You didn't know about these things. If you knew, you wouldn't have done anything. Baya comforted him. She put her hand on the back of his hand and said with certainty, I believe our child will be proud of you. Gu Lingqing responded in a deep voice. Go to sleep. I will too, Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing closed his eyes and soon fell asleep. She lay quietly beside him. She had let her imagination run wild when she was lying on the bed. Tang Dongqing and Shineo were in cahoots. It would not be easy to overthrow them. The key was that Tang Dongqing was the leader of that secret organization, so he was very cautious in his actions. Who knew how many dirty things his dark organization had done? She remembered that Shiniyin was studying the virus. Could it be that the virus was one of the things that Tang Dongqing asked Su Jiran to do? Su Jiran knew most of Tang Dongqing's secrets. The best way was to start with Su Jiran, but perhaps Gu Lingqing did not want her to have anything to do with Su Jiran. She had their child now, so she could not risk her life like before. She wanted to be with them, so she had to think about it carefully. Unknowingly, it was time for dinner. After knocking on the door, the maid thought for a while and opened the door. Baya was afraid that she would wake Gu Lingqing up, so she immediately put her finger on her mouth and signaled the maid to be quiet. She got up quietly. Gu Lingqing held her hand and opened his eyes. Because he did not sleep enough, his eyes were bloodshot. I'm going out for dinner. Do you want to eat or sleep first? Baya asked gently. Gu Lingqing sat up and looked at her. You have to eat dinner anyway. You can eat in the room, I'll accompany you. It's not good to eat in the room. The medicine from the old Chinese doctor you found last time was not bad. I took it and now my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I can still walk around. Moreover, if you accompany me, Mom will be alone. She just lost her husband. Even if she doesn't say it, she must be feeling very down. If we accompany her, she will feel better. Baya got off the bed. Gu Lingqing threw the clothes to her. Put them on, don't catch a cold. Okay. You should wear more clothes too. It's cold when you just got up from bed, Baya said. She put on the coat that Gu Lingqing threw to her. He went to the bathroom to brush his teeth and wash up. When he came out, he did not put on his clothes. He was used to it. He held Baya's hand and went out. Song Shiyu was standing at the door looking at them. When she saw them coming out, she smiled and said kindly, It's time to eat, Xiaoyan. Are you feeling better now? Baya nodded. Much better, thank you, Mom. That's good. Let's eat. Song Shiyu walked in front. The maid served the dishes. No one said a word. They were afraid that the atmosphere would suddenly become quiet. However, the feeling of trying to find something to talk about was quite awkward. Gu Lingqing ate first and put down his chopsticks. Baya put down her chopsticks too. Soon after, Song Shiyu also put down her chopsticks. The three of them were very polite. After all, they had just started to integrate into life and were not used to it. Mom, Xiaoyan and I will be living here for the next few days. Sorry to trouble you, Gu Lingqing said first. Don't mention it. I like that you guys are living here and I like my daughter-in-law too. Song Shiyu smiled at Baya. Baya returned a smile. Gu Lingqing was very pleased. I might have to trouble you with the Gu Corporation too. Song Shiyu paused and looked at Gu Lingqing. What? You're doing quite well. In the 2 years that you took over, your performance didn't drop. Instead, it increased. Baya guessed that Gu Lingqing was going to return to the military to fight against the two big shots. First, she had to be in charge. I'm going back to the military to do what I'm supposed to do, Gu Lingqing said. All right. Anyway, don't worry about the company. I'm here. Xiaoyan, don't worry too. With me around, you just have to keep moving forward, Song Shiyu said in support. Thank you, Mom. After the meal, Gu Lingqing and Baya held hands and took a walk in the manor. If your stomach doesn't feel well, you have to tell us immediately, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. Baya smiled at Gu Lingqing. Don't forget that I used to be an obstetrician. I know what to do. Appropriate exercise is better for the fetus. But don't stay outdoors for too long. It's cold now. Gu Lingqing tightened his grip on her hand. Gu Lingqing, how are you going to deal with Xing Dongqing? Baya returned to the main topic. I've thought about it. In fact, all his weaknesses are in the organization. If my people get into the organization, it'll be much easier to find evidence against him, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. How are you going to get your people in? Xing Dongqing is a very cautious person. Chapter 462. Cherishing talents, especially cherishing talents, and it's all because of you, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Because of me? What do you mean? Baya didn't understand. Do you remember when they tried to assassinate Zhou Hailan? Gu Lingqing asked in a low voice. Baya nodded. I remember. They first sent 10 people and then another 10 people. 10 of them died. The people from the Dark Shadow took off their masks and took photos. These people are all talents from all over the world. Moreover, they are all dead. Men of sacrifice? What kind of weakness is that? I've already found a few geniuses and asked them to commit crimes in various places. They will be arrested. Xing Dongqing is in need of manpower now, so he will probably look for them or set them up, Gu Lingqing guessed. The people who tried to assassinate your father have been around for more than 30 years. Where are they now? According to Xing Dongqing's rules, those people should be able to find out who they are, right? Gu Lingqing shook his head. They can't find out. At that time, Xing Dongqing wasn't in power. I don't know if there were such rules. Moreover, the internet wasn't as developed as it is now. Even if someone died, it wouldn't be recorded so quickly and effectively. Then can we guess who is working for Xing Dongqing? Baya asked. we can find out a little. But they are already Xing Dongqing's people. It's more difficult to get them to work for us, Gu Lingqing analyzed. How would we know if we don't try? As long as one of them is willing to help us, Xing Dongqing is dead. Maybe we can even find out more about their weaknesses. Leave this to me, Baya said. Gu Lingqing couldn't bear to let her worry, let alone let her rush to the front lines. I will get someone to do it. No one is more suitable than me. No one is more suitable than me. Don't forget what I do for a living. I didn't learn psychology for nothing. The military and the public security system both asked me for help. What does this mean? I'm more capable and I'm loyal to you, right? Baya recommended himself. Gu Lingqing placed his hand on her abdomen. The most important thing for you now is to nurture the fetus. After 3 months, I'll be like a normal person. I'll take it slow. Before I do it, I'll do my homework. Besides, only you and I know that you're not Gu Tianhong's child. Xing Dongqing won't know, so he won't know our motive, right? Baya tried. Convince Gu Lingqing. He was really afraid that she would take matters into her own hands. I understand. I'll let you do this, but you have to tell me before you do anything. We'll do it after we plan it in detail. Baya smiled and kissed Gu Lingqing on the cheek. Thank you, hubby. Let's go back. We've been out for a while. He took off his gloves and held her face. He sighed and said helplessly, my face is frozen. It's frozen, Baya said jokingly. Go back and soak your feet. Don't catch a cold. He put on his gloves and held her hand as they walked back. Tomorrow I'll see Shiniyin and tell him about returning to the military. I told Shiniyin that we're going to leave. If you suddenly want to go to the military, Shiniyin will probably be suspicious. After all, he's even more cautious than Xing Dongqing, Baya said worriedly. It's okay. My father's death is a major change. You having a child is also a major change. He'll be suspicious, but he can understand. Baya nodded. She thought about it and agreed. When they returned to the house, the old Chinese doctor was already there. He handed Baya the decoction that he had brewed the whole night. Baya picked it up obediently and gulped it down. It was really bitter. Gu Lingqing peeled a piece of candy and put it next to Baya's mouth. When Baya put it in her mouth, her heart was filled with sweetness. I'll come over tomorrow morning to check Madam's pulse. If it's back to normal, I'll stop the medicine. After all, no matter how good the medicine is, it's still poisonous, the old Chinese doctor said indifferently. Thank you, doctor, Baya said politely. Okay. The old Chinese doctor was a proud man. He didn't say much and turned to leave. Lingqing, he's old. Get someone to send him off, Baya said. He lives here. After my father fell ill, he came to my house. Now he's our family doctor, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Baya looked at him strangely and didn't say anything. You're back. The hot water is ready. Who's going to shower first? Song Shiyu asked. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya. You go first. Okay. Thank you, Mom. Song Shiyu smiled. Silly child, you're welcome. Tell me what you like to eat and I'll get Sister Wang to cook it. If you don't like it, I'll hire a chef. It's okay. Sister Wang's cooking is pretty good. That's good. Song Shiyu turned around and went back to her room. Baya went to shower too. When she came out, Gu Lingqing was already asleep on the sofa. She frowned slightly. Sometimes she accepted Gu Lingqing's kindness so naturally that she forgot that he was very tired today. He shouldn't have gone for a walk with them. Moreover, he should have been the first to shower because he was too tired. He was so tired that she couldn't bear to wake him up. Lingqing, go to bed, Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing opened his eyes. I'll shower first. Go ahead. I'll get you some clothes. After Baya brought the clothes to Gu Lingqing, she muted the phone, hoping that it wouldn't wake him up. After Gu Lingqing showered, he fell asleep on the bed. She gently looked at him sleeping soundly, and the corners of her mouth turned up. She turned off the lights and slept with him. Song Shiyu knew that Gu Lingqing was very tired, so she told Sister Wang not to disturb him during breakfast and let Gu Lingqing sleep until he woke up naturally. When he woke up, Baya was already awake. She lay quietly next to him. When she saw him open his eyes, she smiled and greeted him. Good morning, father of the child. Gu Lingqing smiled too. Good morning, mother of the child. Baya got up. I'll brush my teeth first. Gu Lingqing let her go and entered the bathroom behind her. When he entered, he realized that Baya had squeezed the toothpaste for him, just like how he did it for her in the past. Gu Lingqing's smile widened. He still remembered when they first met. She was drunk and he brought her back to the military. She was very uncomfortable and repulsed by him. Now she was his lovely wife. Gu Lingqing picked up the toothbrush and brushed his teeth with her. They looked at each other and picked up the cup together. They rinsed their mouths and spat out the water. Baiya went out and picked up the phone on the bedside table. She saw that there was a call from Shini Yin, but she didn't receive it. Chapter 463. You're not leaving, right? Shini Yin went straight to the point. Yes, too many things have happened recently. Gu Lingqing's father passed away. Some responsibilities can't be avoided, Baiya said ambiguously. Shini Yin smiled. Now you finally know that some responsibilities can't be avoided. Just like me, why do I have to be the president? If I don't be the president, my family will be in danger. After all, my father has made so many enemies. I need to protect them. Baiya was silent. She didn't know why Shini Yin told her these things. Did he know their purpose and started to warn her, or, why are you telling me this? Baiya was suspicious. I love Lu Shuang and I love my family. I can't satisfy both of them now. But after a few years, when I stabilize the political power, I can marry her, Shini Yin said in a deep voice. So this was his purpose. Shini Yin, forget it. If you marry her, the political power won't be stable. You know her character. She's not suitable to be the president's wife. Plus you killed her mother. She won't forgive you. I guess she won't forgive me either. Why are you lying to yourself? Baiya said coldly. My current wife and I have no feelings for each other. She has her family's honor to protect, and I have my family's honor to protect. As long as I help her protect her family's honor, she will promise to disappear without a trace, and I will be able to marry Lu Shuang fair and square. I don't love her. I won't even touch her. She doesn't need to waste her youth on me. Why are you telling me this? Baiya didn't understand. I want you to tell me where she is. Shini Yin told her the real purpose of the call. I don't know where she is. I know. You have a way to find her, right? Shini Yin said in a deep voice. I can't find her. Okay, I'm going out for breakfast. I'm sorry. You should know my health condition. I'm hanging up. Baiya hung up before Shini Yin could say anything. Gu Lingqing stood behind her. Luckily, Lu Shuang doesn't love Shini Yin. Otherwise, you'll be in a difficult position. Baiya shrugged. Shini Yin probably doesn't know what his father did. Otherwise, he wouldn't have called me and told me that he did it to protect his family. What do you think? Some things, the fewer people who know, the better. I'm 5 years older than Shini Yin. When my father was murdered, he wasn't even born yet. Indeed, he wouldn't know. If Shini Yin knew what his father did, do you think he would still help his father? Baiya asked. It's hard to say. In fact, Shini Yin probably knows that his father's background is not so clean. Before taking down Shineo, he has to take down Xing Dongqing first. No one can become fat in one go, Gu Lingqing said rationally. Okay. Baiya nodded. Let's go for breakfast. I'm a little hungry. Gu Lingqing scratched her nose. Let's go. Wait for me at home today. I miss my life on the island, Baiya said casually. You're pregnant now and there's no doctor there. What if something happens? Gu Lingqing was worried. Baiya thought about it. If she and Gu Lingqing went out for a walk and met a pack of wolves, she wouldn't be able to run. It would be inconvenient. Let's talk about it after I give birth. Gu Lingqing smiled and held her hand as they went out. Song Shiyu had already woken up. When she saw them coming out, she smiled and said, Wang Sa, heat up breakfast for young master and young mistress. Okay. Wang Sa went into the kitchen diligently. Mom, I have something to tell you in private, Baiya said softly. Oh, okay. Come to my room. Song Shiyu smiled and walked into her room first. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand tightly and then let go. He roughly knew what Baiya was going to say. Baiya walked into Song Shiyu's room and closed the door. She took a deep breath and said, I've thought about it. I don't want to hide something from you, but I hope you can keep it a secret. What is it? Song Shiyu was a little nervous. Mom, my name is Wu Nian now, but my previous name was Baiya, Baiya said honestly. She was worried that one day when Song Shiyu found out, she would think too much. It was better to be honest. Song Shiyu was stunned for a moment. She looked at Baiya and paused for 15 seconds. I should have thought of it. I'm sorry. Song Shiyu held Baiya's hand. 5 years ago when I first met you, you said those words to me. I knew that you were a good girl with a pure heart and an extremely intelligent heart. It's just that because I hurt you, I didn't dare to accept you. But in fact, I accepted you 2 years ago. Do you know where you have been these 2 years? Without you, Lingqing was in a lot of pain. He almost drank himself to death. I know that he did it on purpose. He thought that you were dead and wanted to go to another world to be with you. Baya's heart ached. She explained simply, these 2 years I've been treating my illness. My life was hanging by a thread every day. But just like that, I survived and came back. Song Shiyu patted Baya's hand. Good girl, you've suffered. I still owe you an apology. I'm sorry that Tianheng and I hurt you for our own benefit. I understand. I've never blamed you. If I put myself in your shoes, I might have done the same for my child. Song Shiyu looked at Baya's pinky. How did you attach this? This pinky is fake. It's just a decoration, Baya explained. I'm sorry, Song Shiyu said again. Baya shook her head. It's okay. My dear daughter-in-law, let's go out for breakfast. You must be hungry. Ling Qing will be going out later and I have to go to the office. You might be bored here alone. If you want your friend to accompany you, let me know. I'll bring your friend over, Song Shiyu said warmly. Lu Shuang's face flashed in Baya's mind. If Lu Shuang was here now, she would be a chatterbox. She would definitely not make the people around her feel bored and lonely. She wondered how Lu Shuang was doing now. Was he happy in another place? Xiao Yin, Song Shiyu shouted. Baya came back to her senses and smiled. Thank you, Mom. I don't need it for now. I've been wanting to learn the things that I've learned in the past. I haven't used them for a long time and I'm afraid I'll forget them. Okay. Just let me know if you need anything. Okay. Baya went out. Gu Lingqing was looking at his phone. I'll go to the office first. Don't forget to eat breakfast, Song Shiyu said. Okay. Baya replied and sat next to Gu Lingqing. She tilted her head and leaned on Gu Lingqing's shoulder. Did you tell Mom your old name? Gu Lingqing asked. Chapter 464. After breakfast, it was already 10 o'clock. Gu Lingqing had gone out to run some errands. The old Chinese doctor felt her pulse and said that she didn't need to take any medicine. She could come out and walk around, but she couldn't do any strenuous exercise. She used to be an obstetrician and gynecologist, so she knew. She went back to her room and read some books on psychology. She closed her eyes and tried to understand each part, then recalled the cases she had done before. At noon, Mrs. Wang made a lot of delicious dishes. She wasn't picky and ate everything. She continued to read until she was sleepy and fell asleep. She was woken up by her phone ringing. She saw that it was Alan and sat up to answer it. Alan, it's been a long time. She was happy to receive his call. I used your ID information before, and now all the procedures are done. However, I need you to sign in person, and the money can be transferred to your account. Are you coming to England? No need. Go to the lawyer, or should I ask the lawyer and Grandpa Tang to go to your place? Alan asked. I'll go to the lawyer. It's rude to ask my grandpa to come to me. Also, I'll treat you guys to a meal, ha. Baya laughed. Then come to my house. The boat is a small place. You can't show your skills. Your house. Baya smiled. You bought a house in a city? Yes, I think this city is not bad. If I want to stay here for a long time, I need a place to stay. So I bought a well-decorated house. I can move in directly at Qingshan Gardens. It's quiet here and the air is good. It's suitable for me to recuperate. Qingshan Gardens? It's very close to where I live. I can drive there in about 10 minutes. Also, when did you buy it? Why didn't you contact me when you came to a city? Do you still think of me as a friend? Baya was happy. She thought of Alan as a friend. I haven't finished the procedures and I haven't bought the house yet. I was afraid that I would trouble you if I contacted you. Now that everything is done, it's good. I'll come now. Send me your location. I haven't seen you in a long time. Ah. Baya got up from the bed. Okay. Ask Gu Lingqing to come with you. He won't feel at ease if you come alone. He might be jealous. Baya's heart warmed. Okay. After hanging up, she called Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and sent a text message over. I'm in a meeting. Call me when you're done. Meeting? She guessed that if he wasn't in the company, he would be in the military. According to Gu Lingqing's personality, if it wasn't something very important, he wouldn't ignore her call. She didn't want to be unreasonable and sent a text over. Okay. When she went out, she received Alan's location on her phone. Sister Wang, do you know where the car is parked? I need to go out for a while, Baya said politely. She's going out. Wait a moment. Sister Wang made a call. Young madam is going out. Drive over. After Mrs. Wang hung up the phone, she said to Baya respectfully, You're pregnant now, so you can't drive. Young master said that if you want a car, you can just call and someone will come to pick you up. Gu Lingqing was more meticulous than her. Okay, thank you, Sister Wang. Young master asked you to wear an extra layer of clothing when you go out. Don't catch a cold, Sister Wang reminded her. Okay. Baya wrapped another warm scarf around her and went out. She realized that it was snowing. Pieces of snowflakes floated down from the sky. She was in an exceptionally good mood. She walked out of the door and reached out to hold the snow. She took out her phone and took a photo of herself. It looked pretty good and she sent it to Gu Lingqing. She didn't know if it would affect him, so she didn't send it again. The car stopped in front of her. She had seen the driver before. He was an Ing who had saved Zhou Hailan with her the last time. Baya showed him the location on her phone. The driver got it and drove out. Baya leaned against the window and looked at the snow outside with a smile. The chief is back in the military today, the driver said. Baya could guess. She replied, okay. I'm very happy, the driver said again. Baya looked at him and smiled. That's good. The chief is finally back. The driver smiled honestly. Yes, he's back. Baya understood them. After all, they were soldiers. They had the passion of soldiers. They knew that Gu Lingqing was leaving. They didn't say anything, but they must be sad and dispirited in their hearts. They must be very happy that Gu Lingqing was going to the military to continue being the chief. After a while, they arrived at Alan's place. Baya then remembered that she didn't bring a gift. It was her first time visiting someone else's house. Moreover, her grandpa would be coming over later. Do you know where the nearest fruit shop is? Yes, it's not too far from here. Are we going there now? Yes, we need to go there. Baya bought 2 baskets of fruit and a potted plant without pollen. She went to Alan's house. The one who opened the door was Alan. The heater was turned on and he was wearing home clothes. It's good that you're here. Baya looked around his house. Alan had very high taste. The room was simple and elegant, and it was especially a noble temperament. Especially the classical music that was playing now. It added to the whole room. Where's my grandpa? He went out to play. I think he'll be here when it's time for dinner. I've called the lawyer over. Just sign the papers after dinner. The lawyer will deal with it. The money will be transferred to your account in 3 days, Alan explained. He placed the potted plant beside the television. It matched the decoration of the room. It was very eye-catching. Where's the kitchen? I'll cook, Baya asked. Here. Alan pointed at the bar. Baya laughed. Are you serious? You put the kitchen in the living room? There's another one in there. Follow me. Alan walked in front. Baya followed him to the kitchen. There were pots and pans. It looks like he's going to be a boy. I prepared it for my wife, Alan said honestly. I'm dying of laughter. If your wife knew that you prepared this for her, she'd beat you up. Baya went in and opened the fridge. There were a lot of ingredients in it. I like to eat at home. It feels warm, Alan explained. Great minds think alike. I think so too. Baya took out the chicken wings, cola, streaky pork, pigeon, steak, broccoli, tomatoes, potatoes, fries, green peppers and beef. It should be enough. Including Gu Lingqing, there are 6 of us. 6 of us? Me, you, Gu Lingqing, the lawyer, Grandpa Tang and a Ling, Alan said. Chapter 465. She looked a little similar to Baya in the past. She was always worried. Alan could tell what Baya was thinking. I have no choice. Even if I didn't bring her here this time, she would still come here secretly. Since that's the case, it's safer to keep her by my side. Alan, have you ever thought about having a relationship with a Ling? Baya asked tentatively. Washing chicken wings. A Ling's personality is still that of a child. I don't really like little girls. I like mature ones. So it's impossible with her. I only treat her as a younger sister, Alan explained. Her personality is indeed a little like a little girl's. She likes handsome guys, Baya smiled. Alan smiled too. When she sees Gu Lingqing later, she'll probably be disappointed because he's your man. Baya shrugged. It'll be fine as long as no one finds out about my relationship with Grandpa. Can you tell me why exactly? Alan helped to wash the vegetables. I'm worried that if someone finds out that I'm Baya, it'll cause unnecessary trouble. So, I'm a little scared, Baya said ambiguously. You mean Su Jiran? Baya had already guessed it. After all, they had met on the island. Baya did not hide it. She nodded. He's my ex-husband. We already have a lot of grudges. Now we're on different paths and we're on opposite sides. Do you know? In the past, he injected a virus into me in order to possess me. I have to inject it once every 3 months. Otherwise, I'll bleed from all my orifices and die in pain. Erin frowned. She looked at Baya with heartache. Yin saved me. I went through plastic surgery and changed my appearance. Do you want to see my old photo? Baya asked. Okay. Baya wiped her hands, opened her old QQ and logged into her space. There were a few photos. She didn't like to take photos, so she showed Alan one. It was a photo of the two of them when she was a doctor and Lu Shuang had forced her to take it. Looking at the bright smile on Lu Shuang's face, her eyes darkened. At that time, Lu Shuang was a carefree, romantic, lively and cheerful person. But now, Ling is very similar to you at that time. She's about 60% similar. Alan glanced at Baya's present and then at the photo. Ling is very similar to me. Su Jiran will definitely guess that I'm related to Ling. He already suspected that I'm Baya. He already suspects that I'm Baya. If he knows that Ling is my grandfather, he will definitely guess that I'm Baya. So, I can't let others know about my relationship with Mr. Tang. That way, even if Su Jiran knows that Baya is Mr. Tang's granddaughter, he won't know that it's me, Baya explained. I see. No wonder you're so guarded against Su Jiran. The vegetables are washed. What else do you need me to do? Alan changed the topic. No need. I can do it myself. Baya said. First, she stewed the pigeon in the health pot. The pigeon soup had to be stewed slowly to be nutritious. The streaky pork was cut into pieces to make braised pork. All the cola was poured into the braised pork. During the braised pork, the beef was divided into 2 pieces. One piece was cut into strips and placed on the side. Then it was sprinkled with corn flour. The other piece was thinly sliced with corn flour and placed on the side. First, the broccoli was blanched. The color turned bright green. Then it was taken out and mixed with the sauce. She began to make the chicken wings. After seasoning the chicken wings, she fried them in the frying pan. In the meantime, she cut the green peppers into slices. Then she took out the beef tenderloin and stir-fried them together. The beef tenderloin with green peppers was ready. The last dish was a palace dish. She fried the sliced beef in oil. When it was almost cooked, she took it out and placed it on the side. She stir-fried the tomatoes until the sauce was made. Then she added some water. She cut the potatoes into slices and put them in to stew until they were cooked. Then she put in the stir-fried beef and fries. She didn't wait for too long. Otherwise the beef would get old. She could turn it off when the soup was boiling. Just when the rice was ready and served on the table, Gu Lingqing called. Baya answered. Is the meeting over? Baya asked softly. Yes. Where are you? Gu Lingqing asked. She guessed that Gu Lingqing knew. His subordinates would definitely report to him. I'm at Alan's place. It's not far from my house. Are you coming over today? If I don't, what time will you be home? After dinner, probably around 8 o'clock. Then I'll come and pick you up. See you later. Gu Lingqing hung up. She could hear the slight displeasure in his voice. She didn't know if it was directed at her or at the military. I've already called Grandpa Tang. He'll be here in 10 minutes. Alan smiled. Looks like I cooked too fast. The food won't taste as good when it's cold. I'll heat it up later. Baya smiled. Where's Gu Lingqing? Isn't he coming? Alan glanced at Baya's phone. He should still be in the military. It's a bit far from here. I don't think he can make it for dinner. Military? Isn't he a businessman? Alan was surprised. He's a soldier, Baya said proudly. Oh, I remember. I remember now, when we were on the island he was very good at fighting, and his marksmanship was also very good. At that time I thought he was defending himself, so it turns out that he's a soldier. Very good he. Alan said with a smile, I'll help you carry the dishes back. Okay. Thank you. Alan helped carry the dishes back. Baya heard the knock on the door. She guessed that they were back, so she started to heat the dishes. Alan, let me tell you. The 2 handsome guys I met last time were the most handsome. I've been shopping for a whole day today and I haven't met anyone more handsome than them. Ling complained as soon as he came in. Then you're in luck today. One of them will come today. Alan said. He smiled and nodded at Mr. Tang. Where's Grandpa Tang? Where is she? Mr. Tang was referring to Baya. In the kitchen. Baya walked out of the kitchen and saw Mr. Tang. She nodded with a smile. Grandpa Tang. Mr. Tang was a little disappointed when he saw Baya didn't call him Grandpa. Okay. Wait for 5 minutes. I'll heat all the dishes. Baya said with a smile. She turned and went into the kitchen. Aling gave Alan a thumbs up. Your girlfriend is great. She even cooks. If it were me, I wouldn't know anything. Alan gave Aling a thumbs up. Do you think she's prettier or you? She is, but I'm not bad either. Aling was honest. Who has a better figure? You or her? Alan continued to ask. That depends on your taste. But according to normal aesthetic standards, she has a good figure. Aling said with a smile and gave him another thumbs up. You don't have to keep provoking me like this. You have a good taste, okay? She will come later. The handsome guy you like is her husband. Alan said the main point. Chapter 466. You're boosting other people's morale and belittling your own, Aling said in disdain. Alan smiled. No, I'm just trying to hit you and let you know who you are. Alan, why are you so annoying? Aling pursed her lips in annoyance. Don't you think I'm helping you? Whether I'm annoying or not, the facts are there. Think about how you're not as good as her in every aspect. She stole the man she likes. Don't you feel better now? Alan said in a good mood. I feel better. Anyway, nothing is better than the human world. That sister looks good, but you don't seem to be worse than that man. Maybe you're even better. I didn't see you get the beauty. Aling retorted. Alan was speechless. You win. Alan turned around. Aling stuck out her tongue and jumped on Alan's back. She said coquettishly, I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean it. You're so excellent. You'll definitely find someone better than her, right? Get down. You're still like a little monkey. I'm not angry. Alan said. Aling got down from Alan's back. She sighed and looked in the direction of the kitchen. I've been thinking about what kind of girlfriend you'll find. She's a good match for you. Alan smiled. I'll go in and serve the dishes. Little guy, you should wash your hands. Alan went to the kitchen. Baya had already heated up 3 dishes. I've already told Aling that you're Gu Lingqing's wife. Don't worry. She's already accepted it. She won't embarrass you. Thank you, Alan. She believed in his EQ. He could handle it well. Baya served the dishes on the table. The lawyer came over and they ate together. It's delicious. It's even better than what I cooked in the restaurant this afternoon. I really want to bring you to England. Aling praised. But where's your husband? Why isn't he here yet? He's a little far from here. He'll come later. Baya explained. Vaguely, she heard the sound of an airplane. She had a premonition. She put down her chopsticks and rushed out of the door. There was a small plane in the sky. With a flashing red light, it flew towards them. Because it was snowing, although it was night, it was still white. There seemed to be a person hanging under the plane. Wow, who's that? He's so cool. Aling exclaimed. Gu Lingqing quickly slid down the rope like an eagle. And landed perfectly. And took off his sunglasses. Baya was surprised to see him. She ran toward Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing hugged her and worriedly said, Don't run, what if you fall? Gu, bye. Bye. It. I won't allow it in the future, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. He came in a hurry and had not changed his clothes. He was in a military uniform and looked masculine like the sun in winter, giving people a warm feeling. Have you eaten? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head. Not yet. I'll get you some rice. Baya happily took his hand and hurried back. Aling squeezed Alan's shoulder and whispered, He looks even more handsome this way. It's really 45 degrees without a dead angle. Let's go back and eat. Alan pushed Aling. Aling did not turn around and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at Aling. He paused for a moment and looked at Baya. Baya smiled. I told you last time. We'll talk about it when we get back. Gu Lingqing remembered that she had mentioned it before. He looked at Elder Tang. Although his gaze was distant, he still nodded politely. Come and eat. We thought you would be late, so we ate first. Sorry about that, Mr. Tang said. It's okay. I was in a hurry to hang up and didn't make it clear, Gu Lingqing said politely. He followed Baya to the dining table. Baya scooped rice for Gu Lingqing and picked up a piece of braised pork. Gu Lingqing took a bite and looked at her. You made it. Yeah. Baya nodded with a smile. Gu Lingqing stopped talking and continued eating. Are you usually as cold as you are now? Aling asked. Gu Lingqing nodded and said nothing. You're so manly, Aling said. She was a passionate and straightforward girl. Baya thought of Lu Shuang and her eyes darkened. Gu Lingqing held her hand. He seemed to know what she was thinking. No news is good news, right? Baya nodded. Eat more. Try the chicken wings I made. Aling praised them just now. Gu Lingqing's expression softened. Everything you make is delicious. Aling wanted to take back what she said. She realized that when the man looked at his wife, his eyes were full of tenderness. After dinner, Bai Ye signed the contract and sent a text to Mr. Tang. "Thank you, Grandpa." Mr. Tang was in a good mood. He was grinning from ear to ear. Bai Ye wanted to go for a walk. But she thought that Gu Lingqing must be tired today. She did not mention it and got into the car that came to pick them up. On the way, Gu Lingqing rubbed her hand. "Are you tired today?" Bai Ye shook her head. "I'm not tired. I don't use my brain. Hee. When we get home, put on a cloak. I'll walk with you. It's rare for it to snow. We won't be able to see it on the island," Gu Lingqing said gently. "Will you be too tired?" Bai Ye was worried about him. "I slept for a long time in the morning. This amount has nothing to do with being tired." Bai Ye laughed. "That's good. I like it. Gu Lingqing saw that Bai Ye was happy, so he was in a good mood too. After they got back, Gu Lingqing put on a coat for Bai Ye. He held her hand and walked around the neighborhood. "Did your work go well today?" Bai Ye asked. "Yes. They're all my old subordinates. With Leng Shuang around, of course it went well. I had a few meetings. Also, the bait has been set. We're just waiting for the fish to take the bait." "What about the thing you asked me to do last time? Have you found the right person?" "I'm still checking the people. I'll give them to you when they're done." "My dad couldn't do it for more than 30 years. We can't be too hasty. Otherwise, all our previous efforts will go to waste," Gu Lingqing said cautiously. "I understand." Bai Ye smiled. She grabbed a handful of snow on the tree and threw it on Gu Lingqing. Then she threw it on Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at her calmly. Bai Ye wanted to quarrel with him. He was too calm. It made her seem childish. She rubbed her hands awkwardly. "You want to play with the snow?" Gu Lingqing asked. Bai Ye nodded. "Do you remember how I taught you how to shoot? Let's compete to see who can hit the target." Gu Lingqing put on his hat and put Snowball on his head. He stood 10 meters away from her. "I'm afraid of hitting your face," Bai Ye said worriedly. Chapter 467. Bai Ye was really afraid of hitting Gu Lingqing's face, so she hit a little higher. "What are you afraid of?" "Let's play again," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. "Let's not play this. Let's play snowman." Bai Ye squatted down and rolled a snowball. Gu Lingqing stood in front of her and looked down at her. He said meaningfully, "Xiaoye, don't let me be your weakness." Don't let me be your weakness," Bai Ye said with a smile. Gu Lingqing put a snowball on Bai Ye's head and stepped back. Bai Ye understood his intention and stood up. He pushed to a position of 20 meters and threw a snowball. Bai Ye only felt a gust of wind. Almost in an instant, the snowball on her head was hit off. This was not a problem of weakness. It was a problem of ability. Bai Ye didn't argue with him. She squatted down and continued to roll the snowball in a good mood. Gu Lingqing walked to the opposite side of her helplessly. He squatted down and rolled the snowball with her. "Gu Lingqing, do you want the baby in my stomach to be a daughter?" Bai Ye asked with a smile. "We already have a son," Gu Lingqing said ambiguously. Bai Ye's smile was even brighter. Gu Lingqing was really honest. "When I'm about 20 weeks pregnant, I'll do an ultrasound and you'll be able to tell." Gu Lingqing touched her head. "Let nature take its course. I like both boys and girls." "Me too. Let's make a snowman. After we're done, we'll go home," Bai Ye said with a smile. "Okay." Gu Lingqing rolled the snowball very quickly. Soon the snowball was bigger than Bai Ye's. He put Bai Ye's snowball on his snowball to make a face. Bai Ye picked up leaves and twigs. The leaves were the eyes, nose and mouth, and the twigs were the eyeballs and arms. After a while they were done. They stood next to the snowman and took pictures. When he got home, it was already 10 p.m. He washed up and lay on the bed. "Lingqing, I'm going to the streets tomorrow to buy some folic acid and freshly ground sesame powder at the women's and children's stores," Bai Ye said. "I'll ask someone to buy it tomorrow." "I'm worried about you going alone," Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. "Your mother is working. You can go to the military base and leave me alone. How about I go with you to the military base tomorrow? It'll be the safest there," Bai Ye said with a smile. That's a good idea. Tomorrow, pack your luggage and stay with me in the military region. There's an independent hospital in the military region. I'll hire a gynecologist there." "What about Mom? If we all leave, she'll be alone. She'll be very pitiful." "She'll be sad if we all leave," Bai Ye said gently. Gu Lingqing rubbed her head. You're always thinking about others. Go to sleep. I'll go with you to the military base every day and come back together, okay? Baya said with a smile. The military base is very far from here. Although there's a helicopter, it'll be very noisy on the plane. Plus, I wake up early and come back late. Your body won't be able to take it. If you insist on going to and from work with me in the future, we'll talk about it after you give birth. Baya sighed. You can't have your cake and eat it too. That's life. I've read a very interesting saying before. When a man spends too much time with his wife, the wife will think that the man doesn't know how to make money. When the man makes more money, the wife will think that the man doesn't have time to spend with her. There has to be a suitable amount which is within the acceptable range. Are you blaming me for not having time to spend with you? Gu Lingqing said gently. His eyes were filled with apology. Baya shook her head. Of course not, because I'll support you in everything you do. Baya put her hand on Gu Lingqing's waist and found a comfortable position in his arms. She closed her eyes. As long as you accept, understand and broaden your boundaries, you'll be able to relax when others are relaxed. Separation will not cause feelings to fade. Dissatisfaction will cause conflicts to erupt. I understand. Okay. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and kissed her on the top of her head. I'll rush back tomorrow when I'm free. I'll go shopping with you. She looked up at him. Don't be too tired. That's not what I meant. I won't feel tired when I'm with you. On the contrary, when I'm tired, I'll recover when I'm with you. Baya chuckled. Then I'll definitely have a good dream today. When she woke up the next day, Gu Lingqing was already gone. She didn't even know when he left. She took a look at the time. It was only 7 in the morning. She put on a coat and walked to the window. It had been snowing for a day and a night. The ground was white, reflecting the white light. It was especially dazzling. Life was really beautiful. After brushing her teeth and washing up, she got dressed and went downstairs. Song Shiyu had already woken up. Xiaoyan, come over for breakfast. Good morning, Mom. When did Lingqing leave? Baya asked casually. He left at 4:30 in the morning. A helicopter came to pick him up. It's like this in the military. Although he doesn't need to drill, he still has to do inspections, morning meetings and assignments. He also has to go to the Congress for a meeting. There are a lot of messy things to do. Why don't you and Lingqing stay in the military? Okay, Song Shiyu said in an understanding tone. Baya smiled at Song Shiyu. We want to be with you. Whether it's work, study or earning money apart from ourselves and for our family, no one is an individual. Happiness is when you're with your family. He he he. Song Shiyu's eyes were misty. I really regret rejecting you back then. I made you and Lingqing take so many detours. I'm sorry. When the clouds disperse, the moon shines. There won't be a rainbow if you don't experience wind and rain. Only when you know the bitterness can you know the taste of sweetness. Life is like this. Mom, don't blame yourself. It's not very good now. Baya comforted her. She pulled out a chair and sat down. Alright, I realize that you like reading. There are many books in the basement. It's comparable to the library. You can read there, Song Shiyu said. Really? Baya was excited. I can kill some time. Is Tianhang who likes to read? He often buys books. However, there are many books that he hasn't read. He hasn't opened them yet. You can go down and see if there's anything you like, Song Shiyu said gently. Okay. Thank you, Mom. After breakfast, Song Shiyu went to work. Baya practiced yoga alone for a while. Then she went to the basement. The smell of sandalwood wafted over. She turned on the lights. There were rows of sandalwood bookshelves. It was comparable to the library. There were 2 study tables in the middle. There were lamps, tea utensils and a book on the table. Baya knew who influenced Gu Lingqing to like reading. Chapter 468. There was a sentence written on the note. It's easy to hide in a place you can easily overlook. There was a series of numbers on the back of the note. She thought it was quite strange, but curiosity got the better of her. Anyway, she had nothing to do. She glanced at the bookcase. There were numbers on it. She found the book according to the numbers, then found the page number and found a number on that page. After finding all the numbers, she found that it was 258,614. What did this number mean? Bank card password? And this sentence, it's easy to hide in a place you can easily overlook. What did it mean? It was to hide something. Baya looked around. The layout of the basement was very simple. There were bookcases, books, a desk, and there were drawers on the desk. She opened the drawer. There was nothing in the drawer. There was nothing strange about the lamp, and there was nothing strange about the tea. She looked at the bookcase and picked up the second book, the fifth book, the eighth book, the sixth book, the first book, and the fourth book. There was nothing strange. She put the book back and found that the last bookcase was very strange. The numbers were very clear, but the books were randomly distributed. For example, the humanities and computer applications were placed together. Computer applications and world-famous books were placed together. Since she had nothing to do, she was going to tidy up these books. She took the books from the first row down and saw that there was a 1 button in the middle. She had a hunch and took all the books from the last bookcase. It was a grid of 9, and there was a number in the middle of each grid from 1 to 9. She pressed according to the sequence of the numbers 2, 5, 8, 6, 1, 4. With a few clicks, the bookcases all popped open. Baya looked at the gold and jewelry inside, and the background was a little cold. They found the fifth person they were looking for. She and Gu Lingqing probably never dreamed that the person was actually his father, Gu Tianhang. No wonder their whereabouts were known by Gu Tianhang when they went to Tangqian village. No wonder they found LV Xingzhou. LV Xingzhou only attacked her and did not dare to touch Gu Lingqing. If Gu Lingqing did not notice something strange, Gu Lingqing would definitely be fine. It was no wonder that after they found out about LV Xingzhou, all the clues were cut off. Everything seemed to have an explanation for Gu Tianhang. Come to think of it, it was normal. She remembered that Xing Bachuan and Gu Tianhang had a good relationship. However, why did Xing Bachuan not betray Gu Tianhang in the end? Did Gu Tianhang promise to protect Xing Jinyan? They had miscalculated something. The treasure was no longer in its original place. Perhaps, when Gu Tianhang got her diary, it had already been moved here 2 years ago. Baya called Gu Lingqing. Wait for me for an hour. I'm almost done here. I'll come back later to accompany you shopping, Gu Lingqing said softly. Baya remained silent and took a deep breath. Gu Lingqing sensed that something was wrong with Baya. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing, the last person in the Tangqian village massacre case has been found. It's your father, Gu Tianhang, Baya said. Gu Lingqing paused for a long time before asking, how did you know? I found the treasure in your father's basement. He has already moved it home. I took a photo and sent it to you. Baya hung up the phone, took all the photos and sent them to Gu Lingqing. She closed the bookshelves, picked up the books on the floor of the last cabinet, and filed them according to their categories. Her heart was heavy as she sorted them out. Governor Cheng, LV Xingzhou, LV Liangqing, Xing Bachuan, and Gu Tianhang had already abandoned the village. These people had also passed away for various reasons. Could the people of Tangqian village rest in peace because of this? She did not know. She just felt that behind these treasures there was blood and dirt. An hour later, Gu Lingqing rushed back. Baya had just finished sorting the books. Do you want to read them? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook her head. I'll take you shopping. In the car. She saw that his face was very heavy and knew that he was not in a good mood. Lingqing, we can use this money to do a lot of good things, right? This is all gold. It's not easy to sell it. Unless we open a jewelry shop and sell it ourselves, we can launder the money and do the good things we want to do, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Then we'll open a jewelry shop. I'll be in charge of it. After we earn money, we'll take in orphans, build schools and poor schools, subsidize poor families, and build factories for the disabled so that the disabled can also find jobs. We'll open a road in the mountains so that those who are trapped in the mountains have a chance to get out. What do you say? Consider it atonement for the sins of our father. Actually, Mayor Gu is not short of money. Mayor Gu is very rich. My father did those things because he wanted to build up his own power to compete with Shenao and Xingdongqing, Gu Lingqing guessed. We can't decide what others think, but at least we can decide what we think ourselves. A person's right and wrong is always a matter of a single thought. Maybe your father regretted it. Maybe he had something he wanted to do. The evil he did and the good he did were all buried in the dust with his death. In the office. Don't think about him, Baya comforted her. Gu Lingqing took a deep breath. It's too troublesome to open a jewelry shop. I can ask Stephen to help me with this. I want to put these jewels into the black market. Into the black market? Baya was surprised. Those people are making dirty money. I'm earning their money to do good things. These jewels can also be returned to the country. Why not? Gu Lingqing thought. But won't it be risky for you? Baya asked worriedly. The people from Tangqian village, the people from Tu village and everyone who knows about this are no longer around. There won't be any danger. Build an orphanage, a school, a factory for the disabled and roads. I'll leave these things to you, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Okay, I promise I'll do it well. Gu Lingqing accompanied Baiye to buy folic acid, sesame, walnuts, and other nuts. They ground them into powder to prevent calcium deficiency and replenish a lot of vitamins. They also bought raisins, lianxin, and other supplements that were good for the body and the baby. Baiye bought dresses that emit radiation. They were about to go to Shuiyu International for a meal when Gu Lingqing's phone rang. The caller ID showed a series of numbers. Gu Lingqing picked up the call. Dad, I'm Xiao Xian. Mom bought me a new phone. This is my number. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. Dad, when are you coming to see me? I was kidnapped and you haven't come to see me until now. I miss you so much, Gu Ruoxing continued. Gu Lingqing frowned and hesitated. Chapter 469. He held her hand tightly and looked at her with a complicated expression. Baiye smiled. Today is the weekend, right? I'll come at around 2 in the afternoon, Gu Lingqing said into the phone. Dad, I moved to a new house. Do you know where I live? Gu Ruoxing said worriedly. I know. Gu Lingqing hung up. I'm sorry, he said to Baiye. It's okay. There's nothing to be sorry about. You didn't want Xiao Xian to come here. It's just like how many people get cancer and tumors. If you don't want to, it won't happen. Since it has happened, you should face it. No matter what, Xiao Xian is your flesh and blood. You should do your duty as a father, Baiye said indifferently. I'm afraid that you'll be wronged, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. Wronged is when you want to return something but you don't get it. You feel sad and unworthy. I only give something to Xiao Xian. It's what I should do as a stepmother. As for whether he returns it or not, I don't expect it, Baiye said with a smile. I'll go in the afternoon. I'll be back in about an hour. It's okay. That's all for now. Let's eat and talk at night, Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. After dinner, Gu Lingqing sent Baiye back. Baiye was pregnant. After all, she loved to sleep and took afternoon naps. Gu Lingqing waited for her to fall asleep before going out. It was Zhou Hailan who opened the door. She looked behind Gu Lingqing. Baiye didn't come. She frowned and said, I didn't expect you to come. You should know the whole truth. Where's Xiao Xian? Gu Lingqing looked into the room. He waited for you for a while but you didn't come. Aren't you staying at your mother's place? I told him to find you at your house, Zhou Hailan said coldly. Zhou Hailan, he's only a 7-year-old child. Aren't you being too undisciplined? Gu Lingqing frowned. You also know that this child is not what I want. I like Su Jiran, not you. I don't care whether he lives or dies. You came at the right time. Take Xiao Xian back. You should follow you, Zhou Hailan said directly. Gu Lingqing narrowed his eyes. You won't play the same trick again, will you? I'm taking the child away this time. I won't let him see you again. Whatever. If there's nothing else, you can leave now. Zhou Hailan was about to close the door. I'll find someone to take good care of him, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Zhou Hailan sneered. His expression was especially ferocious. He's really pitiful. His father didn't love him and his mother didn't love him. I'm looking forward to what kind of bad guy he'll become in 20 years. With your genes, he'll probably be smart enough to be a bad guy. Gu Lingqing couldn't be bothered with her. Right now, all he felt for her was disgust. He turned around and said, You should think about your own situation first. 20 years is too long. With your situation, you might not be able to see it. Zhou Hailan slammed the door. She called Baiye. Baiye was woken up by the noise. When she saw that it was Zhou Hailan calling, she sat up. She still had to face it. There was no way to avoid it. She picked up. Baiye, what about the thing you promised me? When are you going to do it? Zhou Hailan shouted angrily. Everything needs time. Give me 3 months. Let me tell you. If you haven't done it in 3 months, not only will I tell Su Jiran that you're Baiye, I'll also make you regret it forever. Zhou Hailan hung up. Baiye got up from the bed and looked out of the window. She saw the maid walking over with Xiao Xian. Gu Lingqing wasn't accompanying her. She could roughly guess what was going on. She put on her clothes and came out. The nanny brought Xiao Xian over and introduced her. Young madam, this is young master's child. He's been following the child's mother. He came looking for you today. Baiye looked at the clothes Xiao Xian was wearing. Her face was red from the cold. She looked at her with hatred. Put Gu Lingqing's jacket on him and give him hot water to drink, Baiye ordered. Okay, I'll go now. The nanny left. Xiao Xian ran towards Baiya. She had a bad feeling. She was afraid that the child would push her and she would fall. Many unexpected accidents would happen. Gu Lingqing would punish him because of her. He would probably hate Gu Lingqing even more. She ran upstairs subconsciously to stay away from the child. Xiao Xian watched Baiya run away. She gritted her teeth and asked, "Did you kidnap me and force my mother to separate from my father?" Baiya guessed that it was Zhou Hailan who told her. "Let me ask you, were your father and mother together before this?" Xiao Xian pursed her lips and said nothing. "So your assumption is not valid," Baiya continued. "That's because you didn't let my father visit me." Baiya smiled. "If I didn't let your father visit you, why did he go to your place today?" "That's because I called my father," Xiao Xian said confidently. "Your father went to see you just because you called him. Do you think I should stop him?" Baiya asked back. "I don't want you to marry my father. My father is my mother's," Xiao Xian said angrily. "If your father is your mother's, why didn't they get together for so many years? The world of adults will naturally be solved by adults themselves. What you need to do is to study hard and learn more knowledge, right?" Baiya said in a gentle voice. "I don't need you to lecture me, you evil witch. My father and mother separated because of you. Don't think that I don't know anything because I'm young," Xiao Xian said fiercely. Since ancient times, stepmothers and children had always been a topic. If the biological mother caused trouble, it would be difficult for them to get along. Xiao Xian was so prejudiced against her and believed that she treated Xiao Xian well. Not only would Xiao Xian not accept it, but he would also think that she had ulterior motives. So why would she do something so thankless? "I hope you won't be as unreasonable as you are now when you grow up. Also remember, I'm only going to say this once. If you believe me, then believe me. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. Your mother and father don't have feelings for each other. Your mother likes another man and your father also likes another man. So, it's impossible for your father and mother to be together. It's not because of who separated them, it's because they don't like each other," Baiya said clearly. The nanny came over with Gu Lingqing's jacket and put it on Xiao Xian. "Humph." Xiao Xian threw the jacket on the floor and ran out of the room. The nanny looked at Baiya strangely. Baiya looked at the nanny. "You don't think I bullied him, do you?" "He's just a child," Baiya said. Chapter 470. Gu Lingqing drove back and saw Gu Ruoxin rushing out of the security room. He was wearing thin clothes, so he was shivering. His eyes became cold. Zhou Hailan really didn't care about his life at all. He opened the car door and said in a deep voice, "Get in the car." "Dad, I don't want to go. There's an old witch in your house. She's cruel and merciless. She wants to kill me," Gu Ruoxin complained. Gu Lingqing's eyes became colder. He threw Gu Ruoxin into the car. He didn't go into the manor. He drove to the side and turned on the heater. "Who are you calling an old witch?" Gu Ruoxin saw that his father was angry. He hesitated for a while and said, "She kidnapped me and forced my mother to leave you." "How do you know?" Gu Lingqing asked directly. "My mother told me," Gu Ruoxin said confidently. Gu Lingqing made a call in front of Gu Ruoxin. Zhou Hailan picked up after 3 rings. He pressed the speaker. "Did you tell Xiao Xian that Xiao Nian kidnapped him to force you to leave me?" Gu Lingqing questioned. "Didn't I?" Zhou Hailan answered coldly. "You've never been by my side. How can you leave me?" Gu Lingqing said sharply. "Haven't you ever liked me?" Zhou Hailan asked. "Like you? Where did you get the confidence to say that I like you? You're nothing compared to Xiao Nian. You can lie in front of a child. Su Jiran doesn't like you. That's why he doesn't care about you even though you've liked him for so many years." Gu Lingqing said angrily. "Gu Lingqing, what nonsense are you talking about? How am I not as good as Baiya?" Zhou Hailan was also angry. "How can you compare to Baiya? Personality, looks, figure, and conduct? You're pushing the only person who cares about you into the fire. Is that a fire pit?" Zhou Hailan asked. "You let Xiao Xian run away from me. Isn't that a fire pit? Letting him out without even a padded jacket, purposely making him hate Baiya so that he could not return home and live in hatred. Wasn't this a fire pit? Also, when you found out he was kidnapped, did you think about him? No, you're thinking of setting someone else up without caring about his life or death," Gu Lingqing said disdainfully. "Nonsense. You are trying to sow discord between me and Xiao Xian so that he will hate me," Zhou Hailan said agitatedly. "Fine, I'll give you a chance to choose. Do you want Xiao Xian or not? If you want him, he's yours. From now on, you have nothing to do with me. I'll give you a sum of money and guarantee that you won't have to worry about food and clothing. But that's all. No matter what happens to you in the future, it has nothing to do with me. If you don't want him, he's mine. Whatever happens to him in the future has nothing to do with you. Gu Lingqing said coldly. He was decisive and merciless. He knew that if he had feelings now, it would only cause endless harm to Baiya. Zhou Hailan paused and didn't say anything. Gu Ruoxin clenched his fist and held his breath, waiting for Zhou Hailan's reply. Is Xiao Xian by your side now? Zhou Hailan asked. Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Ruoxin and said coldly, will it affect your decision whether he's here or not? Let me tell you, he's here. So, think carefully before you answer. He'll listen to every word you say. It'll be better for him to be with you. He'll only suffer if he's with me. Zhou Hailan sighed softly and said helplessly. Gu Lingqing sneered. You're saying this on purpose so that Xiao Xian will think that I'm the cruel one who broke you up, right? Let me tell you, if he's with me, I'll throw him overseas. There's nothing better. If he's with you, I'll give you enough money. Are you sure you don't want him? Gu Lingqing, what do you want? Zhou Hailan was annoyed. It's what you want. At least be honest, then you might let Su Jiran take a look at you. Otherwise, he'll only despise you, Gu Lingqing said coldly. I don't know what you're talking about. Zhou Hailan hung up the phone directly. Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Ruoxin. You heard the whole conversation. What do you understand? Gu Ruoxin looked at Gu Lingqing in a daze. His eyes turned red and he asked softly, Am I the child that you and Mom don't want? What kind of person do you want to be in the future? Gu Lingqing didn't answer his question. I want to be like Dad, Gu Ruoxin said with certainty. Xiaonian told me that you're a kind and responsible person. You're also a person who protects the weak. But don't let your good points be used by others. If you look at Xiaonian with hatred, what do you think will happen? Gu Ruoxin pursed his lips and cried. Dad, will you really throw me overseas? I won't be able to see you or Mom. Xiao Xian, I've always loved my current wife, not your mother. I didn't separate from your mother because of anyone else. You can't hate anyone, understand? Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. If I say I understand, will you not chase me away? Gu Ruoxin stared at this question, feeling very irresponsible. Let me tell you, do you want to be with your mother or me? Answer me properly. Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Ruoxin and asked. Gu Ruoxin lowered his head. If I leave, Mom will be alone. I feel that she'll be very pitiful. But she doesn't want me and Dad doesn't want me either. I don't know. Have a good talk with your Aunt Xiaonian. Whether you stay or leave depends on the content of your conversation. What? Is she more important than me in Dad's eyes? I'm your child. Gu Ruoxin was confused. In my eyes, she's more important than my life. When you grow up and fall in love with a girl, you'll be able to understand how I feel right now. It's not that I don't want you, it's just that I'm looking for a way to make things more perfect. No one likes trouble, understand? So, you still want me, right? Do you know what she said to me? She said that I'm kind to orphans, not to mention you're my child. She hopes that I'll treat you well. So, the person you knew before wasn't the whole of her. You only listened to your mother's side of the story. To be a useful person, you must be rational. You can't just let others sow discord, understand? Gu Lingqing said in a meaningful and heartfelt manner. Gu Ruoxin looked up. I want to have a good talk with her. Okay. Gu Lingqing nodded and drove back. He brought Xiao Xian into the house and asked the housekeeper, Where's young madam? The housekeeper looked at Xiao Xian, then looked at Gu Lingqing and said, Sir, I saw young madam drive young master away just now. She didn't even put clothes on him. She's reading leisurely now. Chapter 471. Baiya was reading a book. There was a table lamp and a pot of tea in front of her. Her shadow fell on the bookshelf, giving him a warm feeling. His gaze subconsciously softened. He smiled and called out, Xiaonian. Baiya glanced at him and saw Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian pursed his lips tightly and looked at her. His face was unusually awkward. His eyes were locked and his hands were clenched. He was feeling uneasy. Baiya smiled. You're back. Want to talk to him? Gu Lingqing said. Baiya nodded. Okay, I'll call you later. Gu Lingqing turned around and walked out. Dad. Xiao Xian called out, but Gu Lingqing ignored him. He took a deep breath and looked at Baiya. He realized that Baiya was looking at him too. He instinctively took a step back. Baya did not make a sound. She looked at her book and turned the page, then the next and the next. Time seemed to be exquisite. He stood still. She looked at her book. 10 minutes later, Gu Ruoxin walked towards Baya slowly and stood in front of her. Baya closed her book and asked gently, "How old are you this year?" 7 years old, Gu Ruoxin said. He did not look at her and lowered his eyes. 7 years old. You're still a child. You're not even a young pioneer. Let me guess. You're going to talk to me. You're going to decide whether you want to stay or leave, right? Baya said directly. Gu Ruoxin looked at Baya in surprise. Will you chase me away? Baya took out a piece of paper. Tell me why you want to stay here. I can see my father often here, Gu Ruoxin said. Baya asked. Your father goes to the military every day and goes on a business trip. He might stay at home for 20 days a month. During these 20 days, you go to bed at 8 p.m. He has other things to do, so he might talk to you for 5 minutes. That's 100 minutes a month. Are you satisfied? Gu Ruoxin nodded. Please don't drive me away. If I grant you one wish, what would it be? Baya drew a sun on the paper. I want my parents to be together, Gu Ruoxin said. Baya raised the corner of her lips. You can be with daddy, but mommy can't be with you. Or your daddy can be with your mommy, but you can't be with them. Between these two choices, which one would you choose? Gu Ruoxin thought for a moment. My father is with my mother. Where are you going? I can take care of myself, but mommy is sick. She needs someone to take care of her, Gu Ruoxin said worriedly. Baya drew grass, red flowers, trees and children on the paper. If, and I'm saying if, one day you realize that your mother doesn't love you, will you stay with her or go back to your father? Baya asked again. Gu Ruoxin's eyes turned red. My mother doesn't want me anymore. She doesn't want me to stay with her. So, even if you know that she doesn't love you, you will still love her, right? Baya passed him the paper and pen holder. Gu Ruoxin looked at Baya, not quite understanding. Baya smiled. Color this drawing. Gu Ruoxin lowered his head and continued to draw. Baya looked at him and thought of herself when she was young. Although the reason was different, the result was that her father married a new wife, gave birth to a new child and abandoned her. Her mother was not a good person, but because she was weak, she was the one who was hurt. Naturally, she would sympathize with her. Actually, the little boy was very similar to her. Baya looked at his drawing. Do you hate me now? Gu Ruoxin stopped and held the pen tightly. He paused for 3 seconds and said, Daddy said that my mother's separation from him has nothing to do with you, so I don't hate you. Xiao Xian, I like you because you are kind, brave, protective, and have a clear distinction between love and hate. It's normal that you don't like me because of our relationship. I don't want you to lie just to stay. Baya said earnestly. I don't like you. I didn't like you from the beginning. Gu Ruoxin clenched his fists and went all out. Because from the beginning, you thought that my appearance would destroy the relationship between your parents. In fact, the relationship between your parents became worse. So, I can understand your feelings, but I have something to say. Listen carefully. Gu Ruoxin looked at Baya defensively. Firstly, I know that you don't like me. You just want to be with your father, but you don't want to be with me. Secondly, you are still young and can't understand the emotional world of adults. It's too heavy for you to bear the burden of adult love and hate. I hope that what you can do now is to study hard and grow up well. When you grow up, you can understand everything. Who is your father, who is your mother, and who are you? Yes, we love you very much, but sometimes things take a turn for the worse. Thirdly, I have a good suggestion and I want to discuss it with you. Your father will find another place for you and someone will take good care of you. If you stay here, you will only be able to communicate with your father for 100 minutes a month. I promise you, after you go there, your father will also accompany you for a month. 100 minutes. Fourthly, it's not that we don't love you, but I know that you won't be happy here. I hope that you can be happy. When you grow up, you might understand. Can you accept it? Baya said in a gentle voice. Is that place abroad? I don't want to go abroad, Gu Ruoxin said worriedly. Sure, it's not abroad. It's in City A. Can I still see my mother? Gu Ruoxin asked expectantly. Xiao Xian, you think that your mother is the best mother in the world. Because of our different standpoints, we think that your mother will harm you. But even so, you still have your own opinion. Because we love you, we will do what you want. That's the best choice. If you behave well, I'll help you apply next month. I'll help you apply once next month, but it depends on whether your mother is willing to see you or not. Is that okay? Baya said. Okay, then it's a deal. Tell my father not to send me abroad. I'll be good, Gu Ruoxin promised. Baya rubbed Gu Ruoxin's head. Love yourself and stop torturing yourself. Only those who love you will care about you and worry about you. Similarly, you're hurting the people who love you the most. Those who don't care about you and those whom you hate will be happier when they see you in trouble. Do you understand? Baya took off her scarf and put it around Xiao Xian's neck. People's hearts are made of flesh. Go and live a positive life. Baya took the paper in his hand. The trees were green, the grass was green, and the flowers were red. Chapter 472. Baya was still reading. After an hour, she felt a little tired and came out of the basement. She stretched her back and saw Zhang Xingyu in the kitchen. Why are you the only one busy? Where's Mrs. Wang? Sister Wang has been fired by the chief. The chief has asked me to cook a few meals for her. I believe he will find someone he can trust tomorrow, Zhang Xingyu said respectfully. Fired? Baya nodded. She roughly knew why. Let me cook. I know what Gu Lingqing likes to eat. No, you're pregnant now. You need to rest more. Zhang Xingyu didn't dare to let Baya do it. Pregnant women need to exercise too. Be careful in the future. I used to be a gynecologist. I know what to do. Don't worry, your chief won't blame me. Baya picked up the vegetables and started to wash them. Then I'll be your assistant. Call me if you need anything. Zhang Xingyu didn't dare to leave. Baya cooked the dishes neatly. She made the meatball, which contained not only meat but also shiitake mushrooms and black fungus. This way the nutrition was more balanced and not so greasy. She also made the small fish tofu soup. The thick and white soup looked more delicious. Then she made braised pork ribs, sautéed vermicelli with spicy vermicelli and vegetables. They all looked so delicious. Zhang Xingyu looked at the dishes on the table. Baya smiled. Stay for dinner. You don't have a girlfriend yet, right? Zhang Xingyu blushed and scratched his head. No one likes me. Next time I'll ask Gu Lingqing to help you guys get married and have a child, said Baya with a smile. Song Shiyu was back. She looked around. Lingqing isn't back yet? I'll call him. Baya took out his phone and dialed a number. After 3 rings, Gu Lingqing picked up. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Okay. After Baya hung up the phone, he said to Song Shiyu, he still has 5 minutes like this. Xiaoyan. Song Shiyu called out to Baya with a troubled expression. I heard that Lingqing fired Madame Wang. Madame Wang has been with me for more than 20 years. When he was fired, I was reading in the basement. I only found out about it from Zhang Xingyu, Baya explained. Mrs. Wang said that she told Lingqing that if you kicked Xiao Xan out, Lingqing would fire her. Song Shiyu frowned. Baya's lips twitched. If Mrs. Wang really said that to Gu Lingqing, I'm afraid that even if Gu Lingqing doesn't fire her, I will. But I also understand your thoughts. After all, she's taking care of you. Humans are not plants. They have been friends for more than 20 years. Even if they are just ordinary acquaintances, it's still important. If you want her to come back and take care of you, I'll talk to Lingqing. Madame Wang feels wronged. Song Shiyu was in a dilemma. When Xiao Xang came, he was wearing very thin clothes. I asked Madame Wang to get clothes. She didn't know what happened in the middle. She only saw that when she put the clothes on Xiao Xan threw the clothes away and left angrily. She didn't know what happened. At that time she told me that he was just a child. I think Madame Wang must have misunderstood me. I understand that she misunderstood because she didn't know what happened in the middle. But if she directly told Gu Lingqing that I kicked Xiao Xan out, it would be a provocation. So I can't tolerate her. But because she is taking care of you, the final decision is in your hands. Baya said reasonably. To me she is more like a family member. I told her that she misunderstood, Song Shiyu said softly. I understand. Baya smiled. No matter what she said, Song Shiyu had already made up her mind. She couldn't change it, so she didn't argue. She walked to the door. When Gu Lingqing's car drove over, she smiled. Gu Lingqing got out of the car and hugged her shoulders. Why are you standing at the door? Are you cold? You could have waited at home. I'm not cold. I feel warm when I see you. Oh yes, I cooked something delicious. Don't blame Zhang Xingyu. I wanted to cook for you, Baya said with a smile. She held Gu Lingqing's hand and walked in. I've already told Xiaoyan to ask Madame Wang to come back. I'll tell Madame Wang not to misunderstand, okay? Song Shiyu said. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya. Baya nodded. Gu Lingqing furrowed his brows. Got it. I'll leave this matter to you. Okay, I'll give her a call. Otherwise, she won't be able to sleep tonight. Song Shiu called Madame Wang. I'll get someone to come over tomorrow to take care of you, Gu Lingqing said. Baiya nodded. We're here to accompany your mother. She needs someone to accompany her. Madame Wang has been with her for more than 20 years. Everyone makes mistakes. We do too. But, Baiya paused for a while. But what? I'm going to stay in the military for a while in a few days. I want to revisit the place, Baiya said with a smile. She looked at Gu Lingqing's face. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. She pursed her lips and smiled. He held her hand and kissed her on the cheek. Baiya blushed. Let's eat first. It'll be cold. Okay. Zhang Xingyu attentively served the meal for the four of them. Song Shiu came back in a good mood. She said to Baiya, Thank you. You're welcome. We broke the balance. It's what we should do, Baiya said. This lion's head is delicious. It's the best lion's head I've ever had, Zhang Xingyu praised. Baiya smiled. I remember you said the same thing last time. Last time it was a fish. This time it's a lion's head. It's different. Zhang Xingyu chuckled. I remember the lake is frozen. I'll go fishing there tomorrow. The fish in the lake are more delicious in winter. Come and have my fish soup tomorrow. Baiya invited. I want to eat it now. But the fish soup is delicious too. Oh, Chief, I don't have any missions tomorrow. I want to go fishing with Madam. Zhang Xingyu scratched his head and said honestly, I won't go to the military tomorrow morning. I'll go to a meeting. Come here at 1 p.m., Gu Lingqing ordered. That's great. Madam, let's see who can catch more fish. Zhang Xingyu said happily. Song Shiu smiled. Then I'll get off work early tomorrow too. I'll come back for the fish soup. Oh madam, you don't know. Your fish feast is delicious. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life, Zhang Xingyu said as he licked his lips. All right. Xiao Xian came today. How is Xiao Xian? Song Shiu asked. I've resettled him, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Tomorrow is the weekend. Let him come tomorrow. Grandma misses him, Song Shiu said to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at Baiya. Baiya nodded. Chapter 473. After dinner, the two of them washed the dishes, took a shower and lay on the bed hand in hand. You must be tired after a long day, right? Gu Lingqing said softly. Baiya laughed, turned around and faced him. I'm not tired. On the contrary, I feel very relaxed and in a good mood. Gu Lingqing looked at her, puzzled. No matter how long it takes for Xiao Xian's matter to be resolved, it will be resolved eventually. Now it's resolved. Sister Wang told you that I drove Xiaoxin away, and you immediately fired Sister Wang. I think it was very refreshing. Although she came back in the end, we were filial piety. So today is the day. So today is basically a good day. Gu Lingqing was worried that she would be wronged, but after listening to her words, his mood brightened. He turned around and faced her, putting his hand on her waist. Xiaoya, I feel very happy now. I can be with you and live the trifles of life. Me too. I like the feeling now. It's plain and relaxed. Even if something unpleasant happens, it will be over soon. Then I can continue to live happily. By the way, are you really not going to the military tomorrow morning? I arranged it yesterday. The others will report to me in the afternoon. I will be back late tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow some of the jewelry will enter the black market. There will be a large sum of money sent over. Can you help me? Gu Lingqing asked worriedly. Baiya nodded. Of course. Do what you want to do with peace of mind. I will be your strongest support. Gu Lingqing smiled and kissed her on the forehead. He turned off the light, closed his eyes and went to sleep. Baiya slept very well. The next day she woke up naturally. When she opened her eyes, Gu Lingqing was looking at her. Inexplicably her face was very hot. She didn't know if it was because she had just woken up or because her heart was beating fast. She covered her eyes. What's there to see? Did I play? Gu Lingqing held her hand and kissed it on the palm of her hand. No, didn't you say you wanted to go fishing? I've asked someone to prepare something. I'll go with you. Baiya was overjoyed. She kissed him on the cheek and ran to the washroom. Don't run. Be careful of the baby, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. Oh. Baiya slowed down. Gu Lingqing went to the washroom and she squeezed the toothpaste for him. After brushing her teeth and washing up, he draped a cloak over her. Gu Lingqing, you should wear more clothes too, Baiya said worriedly. She took out a thick windbreaker from the closet and put it on Gu Lingqing. He held her hand and went downstairs. Mrs. Wang was already there, smiling awkwardly at Bai Ye and Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't pay much attention to him. Bai Ye had a cold personality to begin with. She slightly twitched the corner of her mouth as a form of greeting and sat down to eat breakfast. This is chicken congee. Mrs. Wang cooked it at 5 in the morning. Xiaoyan, try it. Song Shiyu personally scooped the congee for Bai Ye. Thank you, Mom, Bai Ye said politely. You're welcome. We're family. I've told Mrs. Wang about what happened last time. Song Shiyu looked at Mrs. Wang. Mrs. Wang immediately said, I'm sorry, young madam. I misunderstood. I only saw young master running out angrily. I didn't see what happened between the two of you. Then I said too much. I'm sorry. I promise this won't happen again. Mrs. Wang, your son is now at the South District Acquisition Office, right? Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. He's there now, Mrs. Wang said nervously. Do your best, Gu Lingqing said indifferently. After breakfast, she held her hand and went to the lake. Bai Ye saw a tent set up by the river. Next to the tent was a pile of firewood. There was also a stove with water boiling on it. There was a bucket, a table, and 2 chairs. There were fruits, teacups, biscuits, beef jerky, and other snacks on the table. It seems like a holiday in the wild. No, a holiday in the wild doesn't have so many things. I think of our island, Bai Ye said with a smile and went into the tent. There was a thick sponge under the tent. There were 2 blankets on top of the mattress. It wasn't cold at all. Gu Lingqing poured a glass of water and passed it to her. I've asked someone to dig a hole in the lake. We can fish directly later. He had already prepared the earthworms. After putting them on the hook, he threw them into the hole. He put the fishing rod on the pole in front of the tent and washed his hands in the bucket on the side. Then he went into the tent. The sun rose. The winter sun made people feel especially warm. The sunlight fell on the ice, making it sparkle. Lingqing, I miss Yan, Bai Ye said looking at the lake. I'll ask him to video chat with you at night, Gu Lingqing said. Gu Lingqing said. Seeing the sparkle in her eyes, he roughly knew what she was thinking. We can't video call every day. We need to change the address every day to avoid being traced. It's better to be safe than sorry. Oh, I see. She understood and didn't make trouble. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Her hand was cold. He held it and put it on his abdomen. She was afraid that he would be cold and wanted to pull her hand out. He held it tightly and said softly, I'm covering my daughter. Bai Ye laughed. How do you know it's a daughter? What if it's a son? I have an intuition. Is it a man's intuition? Bai Ye smiled. Gu Lingqing didn't argue with her. He looked at the hole and waited for 10 minutes. The float was moving. Gu Lingqing noticed it. Bai Ye also saw it. They immediately picked up the fishing rod. It was a crucian carp. Bai Ye was very happy. Gu Lingqing took the fish down and put it in the bucket. He continued to throw the uneaten bait into the hole and washed his hands. We're lucky, Bai Ye said. Yes. My dad puts a lot of fish in this lake every year. He used to fish, but he hasn't done it in the past 2 years. So it's very easy to fish, Gu Lingqing explained. Oh, then we're in luck. Next time I'll take a book, stay in the tent, drink hot water, bask in the sun and fish. Just thinking about it makes me happy, Bai Ye said. I'll accompany you when I'm free. Gu Lingqing put his arm around her shoulder. Bai Ye leaned on him, found a comfortable position and lazily lay on him. After a while she saw a few cars driving over. She frowned. She didn't hear from Gu Lingqing that someone would come to look for him. Moreover, he didn't even inform her. Someone's coming. Gu Lingqing narrowed his eyes. He looked at the approaching cars and frowned. He said in a low voice, Stay inside and don't come out. Who could they be? Bai Ye was worried. Chapter 474. Bai Ye didn't say anything. Xiaoya, listen to me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. What happened? Do you know anything? Bai Ye asked worriedly. Gu Lingqing shook her head. I don't know. Don't come out. Gu Lingqing came out of the tent and walked towards the road. Wu Yang's car stopped in front of Gu Lingqing. Bai Ye saw people in suits with pins on their chests. As it was too far away, she couldn't see them clearly and she couldn't hear what they were talking about. She was a little anxious. She saw them show their documents and Gu Lingqing got into their car. The car drove randomly. She thought about it and called Leng Shuai. Lung Shuai, I'm Baya. It's like this. A group of people came and took Gu Lingqing away. Do you know who they are? Baya asked anxiously. A group of people? What do you mean? Lung Shuai became nervous. You don't know? Baya was even more surprised. I don't know. What happened? Lung Shuai asked in confusion. I'll call you later. Baya hung up. She had a bad feeling about this. She called Shiniyin. Shiniyin was the president and should know more. But Shiniyin didn't pick up and hung up. Baya could only be anxious. She wanted to call Su Jiran. She found his number and paused. She was annoyed and threw her phone aside. She lay in the tent. The more she thought about it, the more worried she became. She waited anxiously for 15 minutes. It felt like a century. She called Shiniyin again. Go. Shiniyin hung up. Baya was furious. She was about to call Su Jiran when Lung Shuai called. She picked up immediately. Do you know what happened? Baya asked anxiously. It's Zhou Hailan. She went to the disciplinary committee to complain. She said that she listened to the chief and that she killed those people. She has been with the chief for so many years and even had Gu Ruoxing with the chief. But Gu Lingqing abandoned her, so she couldn't tolerate it anymore. Nonsense. Is she crazy? Baya had the urge to kill Zhou Hailan. All right. I have a recording of her admitting that Su Jiran is her boss. She has now retracted her confession. She said that you kidnapped Xiao Xin and forced her to say that. You even brought people here to put on a show. F***ck, Baya couldn't help but swear. Her chest was heaving up and down violently. She was not calm at all. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath to force herself to calm down. She quickly recalled the things about Zhou Hailan in her mind. I remember that 2 years ago, Zhou Hailan was rescued from the enemy's base. Who rescued him? The people in the North District were rescued. They are Xing Dongqing's people. Most importantly, Xing Dongqing's testimony is also very disadvantageous to the chief, Lung Shuai said passively. Baya's eyes turned red. Xing Dongqing was so calculative. He must have designed a perfect trap. In this world, whether someone was guilty or not did not depend on whether they made a mistake. It depended on whether others believed that Gu Lingqing was the mastermind. If everyone believed that Gu Lingqing was the mastermind, even if he was not, he would be sent to the military court and sentenced to death. Their war had just begun and they were about to be forced to the edge of the cliff. She suddenly remembered what Grandmaster Gu said. Her achievements were built on killing. As long as she did not leave any traces, she would become a superior person. If she left any traces, she would turn into ashes. But who didn't? Wasn't Xing Dongqing's achievements today built on killing? I understand. That's all for now. What should we do now? Rush in and save the chief. As long as you say the word, we will do it, Lung Shuai said excitedly. If that's the case, it will only make everyone believe that Gu Lingqing is really the murderer who murdered his comrade. He will be despised by everyone and you will be despised by everyone too. It means that Gu Lingqing's relatives and friends will be uprooted. It's useless to do this. Unless you rescue Gu Lingqing, you are prepared to live secretly in the future, Baya said rationally. We believe in the chief. We are also willing to sacrifice for the chief, Lung Shuai said with certainty. If we win, it's a sacrifice. If we lose, it's better to die. Wait for my news. Don't act rashly. I need to think about it, Baya said helplessly. She hung up the phone and sat in the tent. Zhou Hailan's goal was to get Su Jiran. Did she do that because Su Jiran promised her something? Thinking of this, Baya immediately called Su Jiran and pressed the record button. After the third ring, Su Jiran answered the phone. You called me because of Gu Lingqing? Su Jiran asked with certainty. What did you promise Zhou Hailan? Why did she betray you? Baya asked directly. What can I promise her? Gu Lingqing's matter has nothing to do with me. I'm curious, why did you set me up? Su Jiran said cautiously. Set you up? Don't you know very well what the truth is? Su Jiran, what tricks are you playing? Baya frowned. It's you who is playing tricks. People with different beliefs can't make plans together. I'm hanging up. By the way, I found a new girlfriend. She looks like Baya. Do you know about this? Su Jiran said with a smile. What? Baya frowned. I found that she is naturally romantic. She's still a blank piece of paper when it comes to love. She's so cute that she's like a fairy from heaven. Maybe you're right. I'm just obsessed with Baya. I don't love her at all. Now that I have found the woman I love, don't call me anymore. I don't care whether it's Gu Lingqing's people or Shiniyen's people. Su Jiran hung up the phone proudly. Baya felt that her heart had sunk into a bottomless abyss. Although she was burning in the stove, her body was shivering from the cold. Su Jiran had decided to kill now. To him, Baiye's whereabouts were no longer of any use. Perhaps, even if she told Su Jiran that she was Baiye, Su Jiran would not care about her. Now the only person who could save Gu Lingqing was Zhou Hailan. Only Zhou Hailan's testimony was the most powerful weapon. Baiye called Shinian again. Her hand that was holding the phone was trembling. This time Shinian picked up the call. You know that Gu Lingqing is not the murderer of that mission, right? Baiye asked directly. Baiye, it doesn't matter whether I believe it or not. In front of the law, everyone is equal. What matters is evidence. I don't have special rights, Shinian said in a deep voice. You don't have special rights? Or are you the same as Xing Dongqing, hoping that Gu Lingqing will die? Baiye guessed. Chapter 475. So, you mean that you are willing to help me save Gu Lingqing? Baiye asked. There are at least 1,000 people guarding him and he is locked up in the base. Now the only one who can save Gu Lingqing may be Zhou Hailan. I can arrange for you to meet Zhou Hailan. Whether you succeed or fail, it will be at that negotiation. Xing Dongqing and Su Jing want to solve it. Gu Lingqing, they won't give Gu Lingqing too much time, Shinian said in a low voice. Baiye felt her face was wet and realized that she was crying. What? I'll send someone to pick you up later, Shinian said and hung up. She sat in the tent with her phone in her hand. Just now, when Gu Lingqing was still alive, she felt that she was the happiest person. In the blink of an eye, she became the most unfortunate person. If Gu Lingqing died, she put her hand on her abdomen. If he died, every day of her life would be a torture. Then she would take the child to accompany him. She didn't want to live in the world. At least they could die together. God wouldn't be so cruel to her, right? She and Gu Lingqing had gone through so much to be together. Could it be that happiness was only for a few months? She felt very sad. Her tense nerves were about to break. She didn't dare to think about what the future would be like now. If Gu Lingqing came out safely this time, she wanted to persuade him to let go of his hatred and leave with her. He could say that she was weak and a burden, but the opponent was too strong. She couldn't live without him. Time passed by minute by minute. Every minute felt exceptionally long. She saw a car coming from afar. She wiped her tears and ran out. The car stopped in front of her. You are? Baiye asked anxiously. We were sent by the president to pick you up. Please get in the car, they said. Baiye immediately got into their car. Even if they were not Shinian's men, she was no match for the three men. Her phone rang. When she saw that it was Shinian's number, she quickly picked it up. I'll meet Zhou Hailan later. Pretend to be one of my people. Zhou Hailan is currently under Su Jing's control. I'll send Su Jing away. You don't have much time. Also, you need to cut your hair into a man's hairstyle and change into a man's outfit. Is that okay? Shinian said in a low voice. I don't care about my hair. I hope you succeed. An hour later, Baiye saw Shinian. It had been a long time since they last met. Shinian was more mature than before and also more profound. The smile on his face in the past was now hidden in his emotional control. He glanced at the person beside him. Please follow me, one of the women said. Baiye followed her into the defense line inside. The woman cut his hair, put on makeup, darkened his skin, thickened his eyebrows and applied shadow powder on his facial features. It made him look more three-dimensional and more masculine. Then she put on the suit prepared for her. Shinian was quite satisfied with her hairstyle. He bent his arm and looked at the time. Follow me. Baiye got into Shinian's car. The car drove forward, twisting and turning. They arrived at the base, which was heavily guarded. Is Gu Lingqing here? Baiye asked. Yes, Shinian answered. Baiye's heart sank again. It would be difficult to rescue Gu Lingqing by force. Shinian looked at her and frowned. If there's time, I will arrange for you to meet Gu Lingqing. But whether you can talk to him or not depends on your luck. Baiye nodded. The car drove for half an hour and stopped. Under the guidance of the guards, they arrived at the door of a room. There were 2 guards guarding the door. Baiye's heart ached. This place was dark. Gu Lingqing, who was inside, must feel more tormented than her, just like the last time. He would worry about her more than he worried about himself. In the end, there was nothing he could do. That feeling was as torturous as ants gnawing at her heart. Baiye was in so much pain that she couldn't breathe. If she could save him, she was willing to give up everything. The guards at the door checked their bodies and confiscated their phones. After confirming that there was nothing on them, they let them in. She saw Zhou Hailan in the prison. She was in good spirits. There was a smile on her lips and she looked relaxed. Baya frowned. This was not a good sign. Deputy Chief Su, can I have a word with her alone? Please turn off the camera. Sure, Xinyan said directly. This is not in line with the rules. Su Jing refused. Rules are made by people. What are you worried about? Xinyan asked him back. All right, you can talk to her alone, but you can't turn off the camera. Su Jing sold Xinyan a favor and turned to leave. Only Xinyan's people and Zhou Hailan were left in the room. Xinyan and the others walked out of the room. Only Baya and Zhou Hailan were left in the room. Baya walked to Zhou Hailan. I came to tell you something. Baya. As soon as Baya spoke, Zhou Hailan recognized her voice. Baya smiled. There's something you don't know. I'm Mr. Tang's granddaughter. You might not know who Mr. Tang is and you don't care about him. But there's a girl with him. She's the granddaughter of my grandmother's sister. She looks like me. Before I came I called Su Jiran. He told me that a Ling is a romantic by nature. He's still a blank piece of paper when it comes to love. He's so cute and lively like a fairy from heaven. Maybe I'm right. He's just obsessed with Baya. He doesn't love Baya at all. He's found a woman he loves now, so don't call him anymore, no matter if I'm Gu Lingqing's or Xinyan's. Why are you telling me this? Zhou Hailan frowned. When a person dies there's nothing left. Maybe even memories don't exist. Well, Baya smiled. For me, dying with the person I love is a good choice. At least my heart is at peace. Baya turned around. Zhou Hailan grabbed the railing. Come back here. Tell me clearly. What do you mean by all these? Baya turned around and looked at Zhou Hailan with droopy eyes. I won't come to see you anymore. Gu Lingqing will go to the military court tomorrow. You know very well who wants him dead. But it doesn't matter. When he's alive I'll be with him. When he's dead I'll be with him. As for the others we don't care. Anyway, it's a good ending for us to be together all the time. Baya turned around again. Chapter 476. Baya walked out of the room. Xinyan and Su Zheng were standing at the door. She looked at Xinyan. Her eyes were clear like flowing light. Let's go and see Gu Lingqing, Xinyan said in a low voice. We can't meet Gu Lingqing alone, Su Zheng said cautiously. I won't. Xinyan was a little annoyed. Lead the way. Su Zheng was dissatisfied with Xinyan's tone. He held back his temper and led the way. They went to the next floor. There were 8 guards at the door. Baya's heart sank. Even if this was hell, she wanted to stay and accompany Gu Lingqing. But she also knew that Gu Lingqing definitely didn't want her to stay. He should be the most worried about her. The guards opened the door and they entered together. Baya saw Gu Lingqing sitting in the darkness. His posture was still straight and cold like a statue. He lowered his eyes and seemed to be in deep thought. Baya grabbed the railing impulsively and called out softly, Lingqing. Gu Lingqing heard Baya's voice and rushed to the railing. He held Baya's hand. His eyes were so deep that there was pain. He said pitifully, Why are you here? Gu Lingqing, don't worry about me. I'm fine, Baya said softly. Gu Lingqing responded with a deep voice. His eyes were filled with reluctance. Xiaoye, if something happens to me this time, remember to live well. Our child still needs you to take care of him. Baya's eyes turned red instantly. If he died, how could she live on? She didn't want to live alone. But she didn't want him to worry about her here. She wiped her tears. Okay, but I'll need your ashes into clay figurines and put them beside the bed. When I die, I'll take you with me. Gu Lingqing chuckled. Okay, I'll listen to you. Yes. Clearing his throat, Su Zheng looked at Xinyan and said sarcastically, Since when did the president become a matchmaker? It's not a big deal to meet him. Xinyan looked at them solemnly. Can we go now? Otherwise it won't make sense, Su Zheng urged. Baya was the first to let go. She had already mentally prepared herself. Regardless of life or death, they would be together and would not be separated. There was no need for her to linger for a few more seconds. Moreover, it would put Xinyan in a difficult position. Don't worry about me and I won't worry about you. We won't worry about each other, okay? Baya said softly. Gu Lingqing nodded. I'm sorry. We've dragged each other down for so long. It doesn't matter who's wronged who anymore because we'll both forgive each other, right? Baya said with a smile. She wanted to be carefree and not let the other party worry, but she couldn't control her tears. Yes, Gu Lingqing answered in a low voice. His eyes were dark. Baiya turned around and walked out of the room first. She ran, afraid that Gu Lingqing would hear her crying. She ran so fast that she almost fell. A man held her up. Baiya looked up at him and shook off his hand with hatred. She glared at him and said coldly, "You don't need to pretend to be kind." "Xiaoya, is it really you?" Su Jiran looked at Baiya's face in shock. Baiya twitched the corner of her mouth. "You're surprised that I'm not dead, right?" "I don't want you to die," Su Jiran said in a low voice. "Treat a Ling well." She walked past him and headed outside. Xinyan also saw Su Jiran. "She works for Gu Lingqing," Su Jiran said with certainty. "You should also know that she's Lu Shuang's friend." Xinyan patted Su Jiran's shoulder and walked out. In the car, Baiya didn't say anything. She looked down and was in a daze. After a long time she asked, "When will Gu Lingqing go to the military court?" "If nothing goes wrong it should be tomorrow." "If he's sentenced to death, when will the execution take place?" Baiya asked calmly. "They're afraid that a long delay will bring trouble." "The latest is the day after tomorrow," Xinyan said in a low voice and looked at Baiya. She was so strong that it was worrying. "Do me a favor." Baiya looked at Xinyan. Xinyan had a bad feeling. "What?" "If Gu Lingqing dies I won't survive either. Please bury us together. I'll tell you the address tomorrow." "Please bury us there," Baiya said calmly. "You have a child. You don't want the child in your belly? Do you have the heart to let the child die with you?" Xinyan said in surprise. "When we get there we'll still be a family of 3. Gu Lingqing and I will love it very much. When a person dies there'll be nothing left. You told me this. Have you forgotten?" Xinyan frowned. "What if living every day is a pain? Is there still a need to live?" Baiya asked. "Baiya, you can't be so irresponsible. Love isn't everything. You still have a child to take care of," Xinyan persuaded her. "I don't have a father, a mother, or a sister. I'm the only child and his adoptive parents are taking care of him. Everyone has their own fate. When I was young I lived alone. I've had enough. Are you willing to help? If you're not willing I'll find someone else." Baiya turned her face away. "Do you have to give up on yourself? In my impression you've always been strong. So strong that even I admire you," Xinyan persuaded her. Baiya looked down. Strong? On the other hand, it meant that she had suffered a lot. She didn't want to fight against the heavens anymore. She was tired. She leaned on the chair and closed her eyes. "I'm strong because he's here. Without him my world won't exist. What's the use of being strong?" "Don't die," Xinyan said in a low voice. Baiya didn't say anything. She didn't want to see Song Shiyu's sad face when she went back. She went straight to the ship and lay on the bed to rest. She slept intermittently in a daze, but her heart would always be woken up by the pain. She had a dream. With a bang the bullet went through his head. He fell in front of her and said to her, "Live on." Her heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. She opened her eyes. The dream was too real. It was so real that even when she thought about it, her heart still hurt. She looked at her phone. It was 3 in the morning. She came out of the cabin and stood at the head of the bed looking at the lighthouse. If Gu Lingqing was by her side now, he would definitely help her put on her clothes. She was greedy for his warmth. A fierce look shot out of her eyes. She called Leng Shuai. "Leng Shuai awaits orders." Leng Shuai's voice was full of energy. "Help me kidnap someone. Remember, only success is allowed. Don't fail. Let the people from the dark shadows do it. Don't expose yourself," Baiya ordered. "Yes, kidnap who?" "The people from the dark shadows are on standby," Leng Shuai reported. "Aling, I'll send her photo to your phone later. Use the Heaven's Eye to find out where she is. Remember, Su Jiran should also have the Heaven's Eye. Don't let him find out it's you," Baiya ordered. "Yes." Chapter 477. Baiya stood at the bow of the boat and put on a white windbreaker. However, her face was still numb from the cold. She looked to the east. The sky slowly turned white and red. The sun came out of the clouds and shone brightly. No matter what the result was, she should go to the military court and accompany Gu Lingqing on his last journey. Perhaps this would be the last chance for them to meet. She turned around and saw Zhang Xingyu standing on the dock with little White in his arms. He was looking at her worriedly. Baya brushed her teeth, washed up, and changed her clothes before walking out. Baya rubbed the puppy's head and said thoughtfully, Zhang Xingyu, I'll leave Little White to you from now on. You and the chief will definitely be safe. Nothing will happen to you. Zhang Xingyu comforted Baya. It didn't have a good life when it was with me. Now, I don't have the ability to take care of it. Baya raised her head and looked at Zhang Xingyu. Did Aning succeed? Zhang Xingyu looked troubled. We found out through the third eye that Su Jiran hit Aling. We don't know where Aling is now. Baya twitched the corner of her mouth. Maybe this is God's will. Forget it. Let the people from Aning come back. There's no time now. Even if there is, we still have to worry about the trap set by Su Jiran. We will do our best and fight until the last moment. Zhang Xingyu said with certainty. Whatever. Where's Gu Lingqing? When will he go to the military court? Baya asked. If there are no accidents at 10 o'clock in the morning. Can you arrange for me to go to the hearing? Baya asked. Zhang Xingyu nodded. You old madam and Chief Lung can go back. The others can't go. I'm here to pick you up. Baya responded and picked up the puppy. Let's go. The military court was arranged in the cabinet office. The judge was Wuxia, and the judges were Shen Yin, Su Zheng, Lin Shadong, and Xing Dongqing. The 5 magnates were all present. Could be seen that they were really Gu Lingqing, and they were very important. Baya was sitting in the first row. Gu Lingqing had not come out yet. Song Shiyu held on to Baya's hand nervously. Lingqing should be fine, right? He didn't do anything bad. It's impossible for him to have done anything bad. Why would he go to the military court? Baya was unusually calm. After a while, Gu Lingqing came out. He looked deeply at Baya and Baya smiled at him. There was no unusual excitement, and he was already calm about the outcome. Gu Lingqing walked to the defendant's stand. Excuse me, General Gu Lingqing, did you participate in a rescue mission 8 years ago? In this mission all your comrades died. Only Xia Hiyu and Zhou Hailan were left, Su Zheng asked directly. Yes. Gu Lingqing did not deny it. If this was done by Gu Lingqing, Xia He would have been in Gu Lingqing's hands long ago and Xia He was wanted as a spy. Why didn't he just kill Xia He and let the whole thing sink? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing's thoughts are too deep. He probably did it to frame Su Jiran, Xing Dongqing said. Why would he frame Su Jiran? You, on the other hand, why do you insist that it was done by Gu Lingqing instead of Su Jiran? Could it be that you're the boss behind Su Jiran, the big boss behind that organization? Baya said straightforwardly. A murderous look flashed through Xing Dongqing's eyes. He said sternly, How dare you? Otherwise, I really can't think of any reason why Gu Lingqing would frame Su Jiran, Baya said fearlessly. Back then Gu Lingqing stole Su Jiran's ex-wife, and Su Jiran stole Gu Lingqing's ex-wife. They had a grudge against each other. Everyone knows about this, Xing Dongqing said confidently. Chapter 478. But. Xing Dongqing still wanted to say something, but Xinyan swept a sharp light at him. Xing Dongqing shut up. Xinyan was the first to stand up and walk towards the door. The guard at the door opened the door and he disappeared into the light. Baya's tense nerves relaxed. She looked at Gu Lingqing and rushed towards him. She had really already thought of death. Unexpectedly, Zhou Hailan really betrayed her at the last moment. Gu Lingqing jumped out from the defendant's stand and hugged Baya. Gu Lingqing. Baya shouted. Her voice was choked with sobs. Yes, Gu Lingqing replied. He lowered his head and kissed her forehead. She really liked it. She really liked the word yes that he said. She felt that it could warm her heart and her whole body, even in the cold winter. She hugged him tightly and tears of joy flowed down her face. Gu Lingqing wiped her tears and said softly, You didn't sleep last night, did you? I did. I dreamed that you died and then I couldn't sleep again, Baya said while crying. She wiped her tears and looked at him with red eyes. Lingqing, Song Shiyu shouted. Gu Lingqing also hugged Song Shiyu. I'm fine. Baya looked at Xing Dongqing. Xing Dongqing glared at her and left angrily. Su Zheng walked over and said, Congratulations. Song Shiyu glanced at Su Zheng and said, What are you congratulating me for? Didn't you want Lingqing to die just now? We've been friends for so many years and you actually did this. It's just a routine. Sorry. Su Zheng said goodbye and quickly left. Baya looked at Su Zheng's back. In this world there were really no eternal friends and there were no eternal enemies. Everyone had a scale in their heart. Su Jing pretended to be sanctimonious. Everything he did just now was to kill Gu Lingqing. He took her by the hand and went out. She saw Su Jiran. Su Jiran was actually at the door? If she guessed correctly, when Zhou Hailan looked around, she should be looking for Su Jiran. Maybe she didn't see Su Jiran, so she betrayed them. Because she knew that if she bit Gu Lingqing to death, she would also die. She would only survive if she was still useful. Only by surviving would he be able to see Su Jiran. Can I talk to you in private? Su Jiran looked at Baiya deeply. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand tightly. Baiya nodded to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing let go of her hand. I'll wait for you outside. Baiya replied. Su Jiran walked towards the entrance of the corridor. Baiya followed behind him. They went into the corridor together. Su Jiran looked at her and didn't say anything. You said that you wanted to talk to me in private. Don't tell me that you just want to look at me? Baiya asked. Have all the poison in your body been cured? Su Jiran asked. I changed my bone marrow. I came back after emergency treatment. Baiya didn't want to tell him, so she said ambiguously. I didn't really want to kill you back then. I just wanted to keep you by my side, Su Jiran explained. Maybe it's fate. Now that you've met a Ling, it's your reward for waiting for her for so many years. After all, she's very similar to me. She also likes your face. You two are a match made in heaven. In the future. Don't look at the bowl. Think about the pot. You've slept with so many women. So what? You were comfortable at the time. After that, you can leave something in your memory. Your money isn't easy to earn either. In this life, you just want to find that one person. When you're with him, you won't feel lonely, Baiya said softly. If Gu Lingqing dies, you'll die with him, right? Su Jiran asked. Whether we live or die, we'll be together, Baiya said with certainty. Su Jiran's eyes were filled with pain. He looked at her deeply. If I cherished you back then, maybe I would have found someone to be with for the rest of my life. Give up on what others have and cherish what you have now. You can still find someone to accompany you for the rest of your life. The human heart is mutual. If you treat others well, others will treat you well too. If you treat others sincerely, others will treat you sincerely too. I seem to have missed the most precious thing, Su Jiran said regretfully. It's God's will. Xiaoya, do you hate me? Su Jiran asked, clenching his fists. He realized that he was very nervous about this answer. I hope that in this life I've never seen you and I don't know you, Baiya said calmly. Su Jiran took a step back and looked at Baiya sadly. Baiya smiled. Her smile was very faint, like the plum blossoms in the snow in winter. Thank you for letting Gu Lingqing go. I'm afraid that you'll die, Su Jiran said in a low voice. Baiya nodded and turned around. Su Jiran held her wrist. Baiya looked at him. You already have a Ling, don't be half-hearted in the future. Just like what you said, she's still a blank piece of paper, innocent and romantic. You can compose beautiful music on it. But you don't have love for me anymore. Su Jiran lowered his arm. Was it too late for him to take back those words? When he saw a Ling, he was very excited. She was very similar to Baiya. He thought that Baiya was dead, so he deliberately said that to Wu Nian. However, he had been in contact with a Ling for 2 days. He had already confirmed that the girl was not what he wanted. She was just a child. He could not communicate with her spiritually. She was no different from the women he used to play with. He was tired of playing now. He just wanted to find a woman he loved to settle down with. He envied Gu Lingqing. He was very envious. Baiya could do anything for him. If he could also do anything for Baiya, would she accept him one day? She was very smart. Just now, she actually guessed that he deliberately let Gu Lingqing go. She could feel his sincerity, right? Su Jiran watched Baiya leave. He could only watch her leave. Baiya walked out of the cabinet and saw Gu Lingqing. He was standing in front of the car waiting for her. She walked towards him. He patted her head. Are you hungry? Mom has booked a restaurant. I called Zhang Xingyu and the rest over. Let's have a meal together. We'll go back to sleep after that. Baiya smiled. Sure, let's celebrate your safe return. Gu Lingqing had won the hearts of the people. So when something happened to him, many people worked for him. He was also worthy of the trust and sacrifice of others. She got into the car. Madam is still the best. Chief Lung and I can only be anxious, Zhang Xingyu praised. Gu Lingqing looked at Baiya. How did you convince Zhou Hailan? It's not me, it's Su Jiran. Let's not talk about this first. Now that Zhou Hailan is in custody, She's a ticking time bomb that could explode at any time, Baiya said worriedly. I'll ask around. Zhang Xingyu immediately made a call. I hope it's not in Xing Dongqing's hands, Baiya sighed. It shouldn't be. Su Zheng, Xing Dongqing and I are all involved. It's most likely with Shen Yin, Gu Lingqing guessed. Chapter 479. Baiya heaved a sigh of relief. Shen Yin doesn't want anything to happen to you. He needs you to keep Xing Dongqing in check. Xing Dongqing is overbearing. Shen Yin can't control him anymore. Once Xing Dongqing runs for the presidency in 2 years, Shen Yin will be the first to suffer, Gu Lingqing analyzed. So, it's the best choice for Shuang Niu to leave. Given her personality, she's not suited to be involved in politics. Baiya sighed. She looked at Gu Lingqing and her eyes darkened. There were some words that shouldn't be said at this time. After all, his comrades had come over and asked him to leave with her. Today's gathering would be too sad. It would be better to wait until they went back. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand tightly. They looked at each other. There were thousands of words that he wanted to say. He wanted her to leave. He wanted to protect her. But he knew that she wouldn't want to. If she didn't want to, she would bury him and run away. He understood her. So he took a step back and compromised. He didn't want to say anything. Baiya leaned on Gu Lingqing's shoulder. She took a deep breath and looked ahead. The sun was really good today. The sunlight shone in through the window and fell on their bodies. It was warm. She closed her eyes. She just wanted to close her eyes. She didn't want to. She really fell asleep. Gu Lingqing kissed her on the forehead. He let her lie on his body. He held her shoulder with his other hand, afraid that she would fall. Soon they arrived at the restaurant. Mom, you go up first. Take care of them. I'll get a room in a nearby hotel. Xiaoyan can sleep for a while, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. This girl is more rational and stronger than me. It really makes my heart ache. Song Xiu looked at Baiya and sighed. She opened the door and went out. Gu Lingqing carried Baiya. Baiya opened her eyes. We're here. I'll take you to the hotel to sleep for a while, Gu Lingqing said softly. No, just for a while. I need to eat too. Put me down, Baiya said. Gu Lingqing put her down and looked at her worriedly. He remembered that it was the same last time. She accompanied him and almost had a miscarriage. He was worried about her body. Baiya patted him on the shoulder. I just slept for a while and I feel much better. My stomach doesn't hurt, so I'm fine. Let's go, your brothers are waiting for you. She put her arm around his and pulled him along. Gu Lingqing gazed at her tiny figure. It seems that I still owe you a wedding. When we go back this time, let's pick a good day and have a wedding. Let's talk about this when we get back. There's no hurry. Baiya did not agree directly. What she really wanted was to leave with him as soon as possible. They went in together. Baiya glanced around. There were 2 tables of people in the same private room. They didn't seem to be from the shadows. When she thought about it, it made sense. How could the shadows be exposed to the public? They should be Gu Lingqing's subordinates in the military. Chief, Madam Chief. Leng Shuang saluted them. Among them, Leng Shuang seemed to have the highest position. When the others saw Leng Shuang saluting them, they also saluted. Gu Lingqing smiled slightly. Everyone has worked hard. You don't have to be as restrained here as in the military. Sure. Leng Shuang laughed and looked at Baiya. Madam Chief is really amazing. If it wasn't for you, I was prepared to drive a plane and a tank to save Chief. Now it's the best. We didn't use force to save Chief. Aha, we even turned the tables on Su Zheng and Xing Dongqing. This is a good fight. Baiya twitched the corner of her mouth. Her smile was very faint. Others saw her success and recognition, but she knew clearly that it was a coincidence. If it wasn't for the fact that Su Jiran did not go in, Zhou Hailan would not be able to see him in the end and would be disheartened. If Su Jiran could repay Zhou Hailan a little, based on Zhou Hailan's character, he would definitely die for Su Jiran in exchange for him remembering her. Actually, she couldn't understand Zhou Hailan's feelings for Su Jiran. She knew that Su Jiran had many women. She also knew that Su Jiran didn't love her. Wasn't this kind of love sick? However, love was like drinking water. There was no need for others to comment on it. Gu Lingqing hugged her and sat down. Zhang Xingyu praised, "You might not know this, but the dishes cooked by Madam Chief are top-notch, especially the fish soup. I miss fish soup so much. We promised to have fish soup." "Then I'll order some fish soup for you later," Leng Shuai said. How can the fish soup in a restaurant be as delicious as Madam Chief's fish soup? It's so fragrant that it leaves a lingering aftertaste. If you don't believe me, you can ask Chief Lung. Chief Lung has tasted it too, Zhang Xingyu flattered. Everyone looked at Lung Shuai. Lung Shuai nodded. It's indeed delicious. That all-fish banquet is the best I've ever had in my position. I still remember it and I don't think I'll forget it in the future. Baiyu was embarrassed by their compliments. It's better if it's fish. We want to eat it too, the soldiers said together. Then come to my place for fish soup tomorrow night. I fish during the day. In winter, I cook the fish in the lake and it's especially delicious, Baiyu said with a smile. At night? You still need the chief's approval. Lung Shuai looked at Gu Lingqing. Come over tomorrow night. But after you're full, you have to go back for urgent training at night. No one is allowed to drink. Also, I have a mission for you tomorrow night, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Yes, Chief. The soldiers saluted him again. Eating with a group of male soldiers made one's blood boil easily. It was also full of youthful energy and happiness. But, sometimes their jokes were a little dirty. Baiyu had always been a thin-skinned person. Gu Lingqing cleared his throat. Be careful, there's a lady here. Oh ha! The soldiers burst into laughter. It was a suggestive laughter. Baiyu didn't know what they were laughing about. His intuition told him that there was a hidden meaning behind it. You guys continue eating. I'll go back with Xiaoyan first. You're not allowed to drink. Otherwise, you'll be punished according to military law. Gu Lingqing helped Baiyu stand up. Ah, our chief is a real man. He can't hold it in so quickly. Don't talk nonsense. Let's go back to sleep, Gu Lingqing corrected. Oh, sleep. They started jeering again. I'm really going to sleep. Don't think too much. The chief's wife is pregnant. Zhang Xingyu helped to explain. Chief, you're amazing. She's pregnant. Well, if she's pregnant, she can only do it after 3 months, right? Chief, be gentle. Ah. They were jeering again. Ignore them, Gu Lingqing said softly to Baiyu. He hugged her and turned around. She heard their last conversation. I don't think Madam's pregnant for 3 months. Wouldn't the chief suffocate to death? The chief is full of vigor. What do you know? I don't have a microphone, but I still have my throat. Ah? Throat. Your mouth. Idiot. Ha 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 ha. She blushed. She didn't know if Gu Lingqing heard her. Chapter 480. Baiyu leaned in Gu Lingqing's arms as she slept. She had a dream. In the dream she was on a boat with Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing had brought her to a safe island. The island was filled with birds and flowers, but there was no one else. Gu Lingqing wanted to leave. She begged bitterly. But when she woke up, he still left. She looked at his silhouette as he left the boat. She felt sad and lonely. She did not have the courage to continue living, so she slowly walked into the sea. Her heart was still hurting as though it was being cut by a knife. When she opened her eyes, tears were streaming down her face. She saw Gu Lingqing still lying beside her. He should be very tired, but he was still asleep. She looked at him for a very, very long time. The sky turned from day to night. Gu Lingqing slowly woke up. When he saw Baiyu looking at him, he smiled. You're awake? Gu Lingqing, let's leave this place, okay? Baiyu said gently. Gu Lingqing paused and remained silent. Baiyu waited for his answer with her eyes. Time ticked by. Long she had a kind of cold feeling, a shiver. He lowered his head and cleared his forehead. Then he got out of bed. Without him around, she felt even colder. She covered herself with the blanket and stood up. Gu Lingqing's back was facing her. He said in a deep voice, Xiaoya, I can't leave. Her heart skipped a beat. She recalled the contents of the dream and her hands trembled slightly. What if I ask for it? Gu Lingqing put on his coat and buckled the belt. He turned around and looked at her. He was brave and strong. Baiyu, what do you like about me? Baiyu's eyes flickered. She liked him. He was righteous, manly, responsible, fearless, courageous, and loyal. But if these qualities would kill him, she would rather he become timid, weak, and selfish. People were really contradictory. She did not speak, her eyes red. Gu Lingqing walked towards her and put a thick down jacket on her. Sheng Dongqing wants to deal with me not because there's a grudge between us, but because he sees me as a stumbling block. Do you think that if I leave he will trust me? Based on how cautious and vengeful he is, I'm already on his death list. It's just that my death will be slightly delayed. If I leave, the first to suffer will be Leng Shuo, followed by Aning, the people who ate with us today, and everyone in the military. After that, it'll be everyone else who's competing with him. After he gets the position, it'll be Shen Yin and me. Such a cruel and ambitious person had become the leader of the country, and the innocent people had been harmed. Perhaps people from other countries had also been harmed. My retreat is not peace, but a greater slaughter. Suppose I was sentenced to death, what do you think my brothers would do? Baya sat motionless on the bed and let him help her zip up her pants. She understood that she was selfish, but, when faced with his life and death, she couldn't be a philanthropist. Tears rolled down her cheeks and landed on the back of his hand. Gu Lingqing sighed and wiped her tears with his thumb. Xiaoya, now we can't be safe even if we leave. Even if we leave, I won't be at ease for the rest of my life if I know that my brother has died. My parents won't be proud of me. I remember you said that there are things that we should do and things that we shouldn't. What we should do, we shouldn't run away, right? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya tasted her salty tears and nodded. Her heart was sour and bitter, as if there was a heavy stone pressing on it. She was almost out of breath. She rested her forehead on Gu Lingqing's shoulder and cried, "Why do we have to work so hard? You've said it before, 9 out of 10 things in life don't go your way. Perhaps, only after experiencing hardship can you see the rainbow. Only with more pain can you find happiness." He placed his hand on her waist and comforted her. Baya hugged the back of his neck and just hugged him. Gu Lingqing stood there with a good temper. "We'll get through this. From today onwards, we'll be careful with every step we take." Baya looked up at him. "No, not only do we have to be careful with every step we take, we have to take the initiative and wait for death. Just being careful won't defeat the other party." Gu Lingqing nodded. "Okay. I know that from now on, I have to prepare for the presidential election in 2 years. I can't let Xing Dongqing do it, and I can't let Shen Yin do it either. Xing Dongqing knows too many secrets of the Shen family. With the Shen family around, Xing Dongqing will have an umbrella to protect him. Let's think about it. I think that Zhou Hailan is a bomb to us, and he will also be a bomb to Xing Dongqing. What do you think about this?" Baya asked. "Shen Yin won't let Xing Dongqing take him away. He has a thorough analysis of the situation. Otherwise, he won't let me go," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya took a deep breath. In her dream, Gu Lingqing did the same. He left resolutely. She had expected it. This was Gu Lingqing. But there was still a 1% fantasy. She also knew that if he wanted to leave, she would follow in his footsteps even if she had to die. Gu Lingqing was too kind and he valued relationships too much. In fact, this was his biggest problem. Then she would make up for this loophole. "Didn't you say that you're going to prepare for my wedding? You can start preparing now. Also, I will ask Shen Yin to let me enter the cabinet. There are many wives of key officials in the cabinet. My wife's pillow talk is more useful than the suggestions of 100 subordinates," Baya said with certainty. "Your current physical condition is not suitable for you to work hard," Gu Lingqing said worriedly. "You know that if you don't let me do anything, I will be more anxious. I know my physical condition. I promise you, I will take care of my health and give birth to a healthy and chubby child," Baya promised. "I don't want you to be too tired. I won't let myself be too tired. I just want to live a fulfilling life. I want to make every day meaningful," Baya said with a smile. "Tell me immediately if you feel the slightest discomfort," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya nodded. "Okay." He held her hand. "Are you hungry? Let's go out for dinner first. I have a meeting at the military base tonight. Also, I need to follow up on the jewelry. I won't be back early today. Remember to sleep early." "I'm okay. If there's anything special, I will report to you again," Baya said with a smile. They went downstairs together. "You're up," Song Shiyu said with a smile. "It's time for dinner." Zhang Xingyu was there too. Other than him, there was a tall and skinny girl with short hair standing next to him. She wore a black suit and had tan skin. She looked very capable. She saluted to Gu Lingqing. "Reporting to Chief. Number 7328 Lin Shulan reporting for duty." Gu Lingqing nodded and said to Baya, "When I'm not around, she will follow you. She will be your personal assistant. She will be in charge of your daily life, food, and safety." You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.